And welcome back to another episode. Welcome back to another episode of Mystery Truth. I am your only host on this show, and I will always be your host on this show. And today is a little bit special because it is. And I'm gonna play videos that I'm gonna play regardless. And you guys are either gonna, click off or watch. Doesn't really matter anymore. But we're talking a bit about Epstein, Venezuela. Obviously, some more child predators, especially one that was trying to, hey, kids, you want some candy type deal? And then I think there's a few more. But before we get into that, I actually got to get into some music because, well, as you can see, sometimes, I'm in that mood right now. I'm back in the mood where I want to go back in the army and just fucking kill people. I mean, save people, do my job. I don't know what it is. I'm in that fucking funk right now. It's either that PTSD is finally kicking in, or, dude, I just want to go fight. I don't understand it, but it's whatever. What's up, Yeti? What's up, Short Bus? Hope y'all are doing fine and well today. So, like I said, we're going to get into the first song of the day. It's a little bit older, and I don't know why I picked this. Yeti's probably going to say, fuck you, I'm going to be back when this song is over. But that's okay. Ready for it?
It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify. If someone's head off, no human contact. And if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet.
Anyway, if you want to see the video, right there.
It's just one of those days. It's all about the he says, she says, fools. I think you better quit.
Telling you, it's one of these days.
Or you can leave it with a fat lip. It's all about the he says, she says, fools.
Well, I know the planets are aligned to a certain point, and they're off.
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one
It
to
could be
complain,
that,
leaves with
but
the
I don't
blood
know.
stain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better watch your back, cause I'm fucking up your program. And if you're stuck up, you just lock
Everybody's
up.
got it.
Next in line to get fucked
Everybody's got
up.
something
Your best
weird,
bet is
like,
stay away, mother.
I can't
It's just
explain.
one of those days. It's all about
Maybe
the
it's
he
the
says,
fucking
she says,
sunset.
fools. I think you better
Come on, let me make sure that this
slip,
one.
or you can leave it with a fat lip. It's all about the he says, she says, fools. I think you better quit. Join that. So come and get it. I feel like my suggestion is to keep your distance. Cause right now I'm dangerous. We've all felt like
All right, enough of that. Enough of that.
No?
What's up, Corey? So, I really got a lot to say, and I don't know how to say it, but I do, and, well, fuck it. So I was watching some of these Epstein victims, in their speeches. Um, I don't think all of them had anything happen, and not all of them, but there's some that I think actually are lying. It's just weird that they waited all this fucking time to come forward when they could have gotten these guys. And they're going to compile a list of names. But why haven't they done this before? I don't get it. And this is where me and Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, we finally agree on something. Well, lately she's been like based and on point with what I've been thinking. Same with Thomas Massey. Yeah, I'm talking politics this time, and some of you understand it, some of you don't. Some of them just really don't care. I'm just telling you, that's my thoughts on the whole Epstein rally fucking press conference thing. You're not supposed to like say it didn't happen, but sometimes I don't know, because they don't tell the whole truth when it comes to stories. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. And that's why I was going to say yesterday, and some people were going to get pissed off. I don't care. I don't. You can tell when someone's lying.
It's not an elevator? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I thought it was an elevator.
Chicago reporter William J. Kelly has repeatedly clashed with Mayor Brandon Johnson.
I know you have worked hard to get the necessary
help. Bro, I would
totally
smack DG.
Really?
And whatever condition in which that you are dealing with, I'm glad that you are getting some help.
You're the one who's having panic attacks. You're the one who...
I realize this guy is kind of like an agitator when it comes to Mayor Johnson. But he actually asked real questions, and Mayor Johnson never seems to answer them or dodges it, or they cut him off. I mean, Donald Trump did it. Joe Biden, he never got talked to the press, so he never actually did that. But especially when you're in a press conference and there's questions that are pretty serious, and then you blow it off, there's no wonder you have a 6% fucking approval rating. The worst, I believe, in Chicago history.
Who is not keeping the people of Chicago safe.
When the mayor joined the governor for their anti-Trump press conference, Kelly was there and attempted to ask a question.
Governor, challenging the president in court is going to take a while. Are you...
Say that again, I'm sorry.
You're going to be disruptive. Challenging the president in court is going to take a while.
Kelly attempted to ask the mayor about this issue before, which led to a further straining of their relationship.
Mayor Johnson, over the weekend, ICE arrested an illegal alien named Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, who had been released by a Safety Act judge.
What's up, Jennifer?
He was charged with concealing a body of a 37-year-old mother of two, Megan Boss.
Yeah, I agree with him. I really do. However, sometimes I think he's got to, because he already knows they're not going to answer it, but why he grandstands? To get that information out, because he already knows they're not going to answer it. And honestly, I would do the same thing.
Investigators found the body of 37-year-old Megan Boss in a container on Mendoza Gonzalez's property. She'd been missing for nearly 2 months.
Mendoza Gonzalez was released to his home after his arrest. The charges didn't qualify for pretrial detainment under Illinois' Safety Act.
He had her in his backyard in a trash can for 2 months and went on with his life as if nothing happened.
Megan's mom, Jennifer, was at the White House last week for a signing ceremony of an anti-fentanyl bill and told the president about her daughter's case. 3 days later, ICE agents took Mendoza Gonzalez into custody for being in the country illegally, and he's now facing deportation.
Megan Boss, decapitated, her body abused in a dumpster, in a bleach-filled dumpster on this man's property, right?
Okay.
You have stated over and over and over again that you don't want ICE in Chicago. If that had been Stacy, if that had been your wife Stacy's body that had been decapitated, abused,
that's not an appropriate question. Yeah.
It's a very real people.
He's asking a hypothetical question that most of us would ask. Just like when he wants to defund the police, why does the mayor of Chicago have his own private security? And it ain't cheap.
The people of Chicago are asking me to ask you this very specific question. Had that been your wife, Stacy, would you want ICE to pick up this illegal alien?
I'm not going to entertain your question.
You're not going to answer. Well,
that's a really good question.
My follow-up question is regarding...
I actually believe that what you're saying is quite threatening.
What?
It's quite threatening.
Really?
Can we move on to the next person here?
Excuse me, but no,
And if you continue to behave in such a way, we'll just make sure that we take the appropriate steps. You are threatening and provocative.
This is a question that the real people of Chicago are asking.
William, please give me the microphone.
Let's get back to the anti-Trump.
It's crazy because when you think about all these gun violence and Brandon Johnson comes out, imagine if these were your kids. Imagine. And then when he gets asked the same question, he gets, is that a threatening comment? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Showed up for No King's Day. And I'm encouraging people to peacefully, I've said that all along, megaphones, microphones, go to the ballot box. Those are all the things that I said. Let's be clear. And to the extent that people want to protest, they have that First Amendment right to do so. All I'm saying, as I said back then, is that you ought to do it peacefully and that you ought to make your voices heard.
Governor
Pritzker, what do you consider peacefully? I am curious. Destroying buildings? Destroying property? Is that peaceful? Mass shootings? Mass shootings in Chicago. Pretty much every day. Do you stop them? Well, obviously this guy that murdered a woman, chopped her head off and put her in a dumpster behind his house for 2 months. It's all right. Let him out. No bail.
Very important question regarding the illegal alien, Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, that was released under your...
Well, he didn't get an answer, but watch the hilarity that ensued when he tried to join the mayor in an elevator.
Thank you, guys. God bless you guys. Keep up the great
I
work.
thought this
God
was
bless you.
funny.
Please stay. No, it's not a. It's
Like,
not
that's
an
his
elevator.
private security.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I thought it was an elevator. That's my bad. Sure, I thought it was an elevator.
Look at that. That's fucking insane. Does Mayor Adams have that same type of security?
Yeah.
Does that bitch in California and Los Angeles have that same kind of security? Wonder how much that's costing Chicago.
I actually like her. She's actually doing a good job.
I wonder. But it's okay. Defund the police. As long as, you're individually safe, it doesn't really matter. All right.
Hey guys.
All right. Remember when the kids and they were talking about, what's up, Clumptons? Holy shit, dude, it's been a while. Remember when we were kids and we used to joke about, hey, little kids, you want some candy in a van and all that shit? The white van, for some reason, everybody's like, yep. Hey, little kids, you want some candy? Want some ice cream? Well, I guess they're still trying that. Well, not the candy and stuff.
Slowed up to the kids, rolled down his windows and was going, get in, get in. He was trying to get the kids to get in the car.
A scary encounter for two children whose family says were approached by a stranger Wednesday in Battle Creek. That mother relieved her daughter is safe. Battle Creek police did arrest a 67-year-old Otsego man. He's being held on charges of child enticement and attempted unlawful imprisonment. The grandfather of one of the children, meanwhile, says he was...
I didn't pay attention because I was listening to this shit in the background while I was doing other stuff. I didn't realize it was a white fucking van. That is... All right, let's continue.
On scene and snapped these pictures of the arrest. I met with him and the mother on Thursday, who described what happened.
We need you to get to the Willard Library now. There was an attempted kidnapping of your daughter. I froze.
After a moment of shock, Tiffany Nicole Lawhead headed straight for the Willard Library in Battle Creek,
You might
where
be
her
right,
daughter
Mark.
and friends go in the afternoons.
It's a good unwind time for the kids after school. It's something to do.
But Wednesday afternoon was anything but stress-free.
The family tells me it was in this library parking lot that their daughter was walking through to go into the library when a car approached them with a man inside trying to lure them into the car. The kids ran inside. The suspect, I'm told, drove off. But that wasn't the last they saw of him.
He left, went down to the Central, turned back around and came and parked right up here. And that's when the kids were pointing out the window, going, he's here, he's here, he's here, we're not safe.
Battle Creek police responded within minutes, about the same time the girl's grandfather arrived.
As I pulled up, they had just cuffed up.
Battle Creek is Michigan, right?
Gentleman, and they put him in the squad car. And I approached, I know some of the officers, and I thanked them for catching them. I commended them. I hope they get recognized for the good deed they did.
Sam Vosberg shared these pictures with us of the arrest. While the man accused is in custody, the fear for his granddaughter doesn't go away.
She was horrified, terrified. She's never going to see her family again.
But they hope this serves as a warning to other families and a call for action.
What are you hoping happens?
Justice.
And what would justice do?
Yeah, but kind of justice. You know, some of these places, their idea of justice is probation. That's it. That's not justice. This guy will probably get probation. Unfortunately.
The charge is pressed for kidnapping of a minor. The louder you are, the louder that the justice system has to get justice.
Battle Creek police confirmed the children were approached once, then again, and were asked to get in the car. The family and police credit the library security staff for their response and for calling in officers who responded in just a few minutes, adding that the children did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Wait, so a child predator, they call him, and they come within minutes. But then you have some of these places like in Florida where you can wait hours for a cop to show up. Well, it's obvious who takes child predators more seriously. Now, let's see what the DA does.
Really good instincts. I think that that's what you want every child to respond with whenever they're approached by a stranger, is to seek safety and try to get away from the potential danger.
The mother of the girl also told me Thursday the friend her daughter was walking with saved her life by making sure she was safe. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has a long list of tips for families about stranger danger.
Oh, shit.
Parents.
Look at the very last one. There's a fucking website. I mean, maybe I didn't see it, but you can show this to your kids. I mean, my kids are grown, so it's kind of pointless, but wow, I'm about to have a grandkid. Yo, my grandkid's going to be the safest grandkid.
To talk to their kids about when and where they may be at risk of abduction. Teach them tricks would-be abductors use, and even practice role-playing scenarios to ensure they're prepared for a real situation. It's also important to remind kids to travel in a group, and if they see anything suspicious, they should find a trusted adult to talk to. You can find all of this information and much more by...
I guess they would find a trusted adult they know. But at least the library and everything took care of that. Bro, when I said that I'm going to be a grandkid, or I'm going to have a grandkid, it hasn't really sunk in. Because at the beginning, I'm like, whatever, I'm having a grandkid. And then she keeps sending fucking ultrasound pics, and I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm going to be 44-year-old with a grandkid. Isn't it amazing? I did right. I did my kids right. I love it. And all it took was me putting on medication. Because before that, my kids were afraid of me. Wife was afraid of me. And that's why how do I say this? Every once in a while, I get in this funk, like I am right now. And they know. They know now. It is what it is. Thanks, Juniper. But another good news, a buddy of mine, 100% disability from the Army, qualifies for SSID. Is that what it's called? And apparently that's extra $4,000 for him because he's got like a ton of kids. Dude, my wife could quit her job if I get SSID. I just don't think I qualify because I'm actually in pain. No, no. If you're not saying everybody that is on it is faking it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, for the past month, my back is like, you know what? If I really want you to take one of those, what are they called? Those big ass construction scenes they use to flatten down when they pave the roads. Want one of those just to roll over my back and make sure it pops every single vertebrae. Because there's a part of my back. Well, obviously, it feels like there's pins and needles stuck in it, and it's very uncomfortable. And it's gotten worse. And then my neck. That I don't know, that fused vertebrae is killing me. It hurts all the time now, and it's probably why I'm in the funk. But it doesn't matter. Now let's talk to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Some of this shit she used to say at the beginning were kind of fucking nuts, but at the same time, I'd agreed with her. Everybody was like, "This bitch is crazy. This bitch is crazy," but she's been making more sense since this year began. She's even gone against Trump. She was as MAGA as it gets, but she calls him out as well. So what happened is, like I said, that whole group of people that came forward and started talking, well, they are going to compile their own list, but they can't release it. So they're going to give it to MTG. She's just going to read the names off. No fucks given.
You're questioning, why can't they just name the names? What you don't realize is they just told their stories of being raped and being abused, being victimized, being manipulated, being coerced, and basically held in a prison of captivity of sexual abuse while they were young teenagers and extremely young, vulnerable women. And in Jeffrey Epstein's home and the places they went with him, they saw the most powerful people in the world in his pictures, and they saw him with those people.
I still think
Can you
he's
imagine how
fraud.
terrifying it would be to name names like that?
I don't think he's
These
dead.
are some of the richest, most powerful people in the world that could sue these women into poverty and homelessness. Yeah, it's a scary thing to name names, but I will tell you, I'm not afraid to name names. And so if they want to give me a list, I will walk in that Capitol on the House floor and I'll say every damn name that abused
Hell
these
yeah.
women. I can do that for them.
Now, here's the thing. When it comes to people trying to get this client list and all that shit released, there's two people I know that one represents Georgia, one represents Tennessee. Marsha Blackburn and obviously MTG. I remember when Marsha Blackburn tried to bring it up to get this fucking released, and whoever was in charge of the committee was like, no. We'll get to that eventually. Obviously, it didn't happen. I thought it would have happened in January or February 2025. I didn't expect it to take almost all fucking year. When it's just all the stuff's been there. All 35,000 pages of it.
Get out of our city!
Out of your fourth point of contact!
Why are they calling him a Nazi?
I've come to DC to speak with locals about what they think of President Trump deploying the National Guard. However, this video
YouTube
ended up
censoring
being
fucking
something
comments
else.
again. Oh my god. Of course it works that way.
entirely, because as soon as I got off the train, I saw protesters, and I'm not one to just go past a protest, so I'm going to follow the money and expose these people for who they really are. Starting with this woman wearing a Luigi hat honoring Luigi Mangione, the killer of the United Healthcare CEO. Welcome back to the Nate Friedman Show.
Can you tell me about your sign?
Okay, so we are in the middle of bedlam and mayhem and chaos, and the National
Paid
Guard.
to be out there.
$1 million a day.
I think.
Running down rapists and murderers.
What's the organization called?
Dodging bullets. Over there. Yeah. So my sign says it's manufactured crisis because he doesn't want to release the Epstein files.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not distracted.
And what about so are you saying crime is not down right now because of this?
DOJ does.
They are literally stopping people for trivial stuff like smoking in their cars, making a left turn without a signal. So it's running up the crime statistics, but it's trivial nonsense that in any other city would just go with a citation.
Player
but people are
USA.
getting arrested for driving and not using a,
Player
not
USA.
using a signal.
Okay.
They fund a lot of this.
It is manufactured bullshit.
So when they say violent crime is down, like robberies, carjackings, that sort of thing.
No, violent crime was down a 30-year low before he sent them in on August 11th.
Where?
Okay.
So saying that crime was already at a 30-year low isn't saying much. It's a talking point we've heard a lot, and the issue with it is that if you have 225 murders a year and you bring it down to 224,
That Jew necklace.
that's not really something worth celebrating. But this concept is something that's called the base rate fallacy, and it's used pretty frequently to cover up bad statistics. And her point about it all being trivial crime, well, how about David Perez Teofani, who is seen here getting arrested? He's an illegal immigrant from Mexico who has been previously charged with sexual battery against a minor under 13 in Virginia.
This is fucking crazy. These are the ones politicians want to protect. These ones. And I love when I get these, especially when I get pictures like this. I'll post it on their fucking page and say they support pedophiles. Because they do. If they allow people like this, oh, he's okay. He's just, they're arresting him because he's illegal. He's just trying to get a better life, right? I mean, it's kind of like saying the usual suspects are going to grow up to be doctors. He was going to be a doctor.
Virginia.
Mi familia y mis hijos. Por favor. Por favor.
He had entered the US illegally 3 times before this. Instead of catching this criminal, perhaps she wants DC to take after Chicago's lead. Take a listen to their mayor literally saying arrests don't lower crime.
The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down.
For them to be spending $1 million and they're standing, I want you to put the camera over there.
Yeah.
All right.
The pan there, that is what they've been doing. I've been here since 6 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
And that's all they have been doing.
You've been here since 6?
6 o'clock this morning.
Oh, okay. That's
So whatever
a lot of
time it
work.
is, I've been here 6 o'clock this morning.
Protesting since 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's 1 p.m. now. Now that's what you would do for a job. Well, maybe that's because this is her job. Meet Nadine Sealer. She jumped to #1 on my leaderboard for most protests attended. She's even friends with other paid protesters I've exposed, like Karen Shaw, the kazoo lady in New York. As Karen Shaw followed me around the protest with a right-wing troll arrow, I did get to thinking, who could possibly want to be around this? Well, another professional protester. You can see here clearly that she's listed as one of Nadine's friends on Facebook. These professional protesters like to stick together. Now, Nadine was known as the guardian of the BLM fence across from the White House. But don't get too excited, she gave herself that title. But does guardian really just mean harassing people in MAGA hats? Because I found this video on her Facebook page taken recently, and it's one of the most evil things I've seen a professional protester do because she targets a child.
Look, he's a fucking public. He's a fucking public. He's a fucking public. He's a fucking public. He's in public with a stupid ass hat. He's in public with a stupid ass hat. Look him over there. 14 years old or 13 years old with his Trump hat protecting pedophiles.
From that clip, do you think that she should be charged with harassment? Now, that was just another day for her because Nadine has attached herself to nearly every leftist cause. Anti-ICE rallies, anti-police protests, and of course, anti-West rallies. Just this summer, she traveled for work, going to Milwaukee to protest at the Republican National Convention, warning people about Project 2025. She's everywhere, including in the intro of this video. You recognize that sign? Now, I had the privilege of speaking speaking to Nadine at inauguration, actually, but more on that and how she's funded later in this episode.
Okay. And you've been here since 6. Do you work a job or?
No, I have actually taken off from my job, from my vocation, to fight fascism until they drag me out of here and probably send me to Uganda.
What's your
Do
job?
you think they're going to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait.
Are you a citizen?
Oh, he's asking what I was about to ask. Does she want to go back to Uganda?
I am a citizen,
Do you think
but
they'll denaturalize you?
But yes, because they're making it a priority, and somebody who is visible, who is an immigrant, and who doesn't care to say that he's a fascist dictator. Yeah, I think at some point.
How is it going so far? How is the fight going?
It's not going well at all because Americans are cowering in their homes, and they pretend they want a revolution, but they don't know what it takes to have a revolution. They don't understand the sacrifice that people.
I do. It takes 3% of the population. 3%! Like it says on my calf.
Need to have a revolution. So until people actually wake up to know what a revolution is.
Just as an observation, I've been to over 30 protests this year, and the word revolution is being used a lot more now than it was at the beginning. Also, her point about Americans cowering in their homes instead of protesting, I think they might just be working a job and don't have time to protest outside of Union Station every single day. Now here's where the interview gets crazier. She argues the National Guard isn't needed in DC, but ends up making a surprisingly strong case for why Trump sent the Guard in.
I am an older woman who walk around DC all hours of the night. Yeah. I walk around DC 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 p.m., 3 a.m. in the morning. Nobody bothers me. Not to say that there is crime. I've been the victim of crime in DC. My car was stolen and my backpack was stolen recently. Other cities have crime too. But as a person, I have walked around DC. There have been unsheltered people in my way. I hear them. I cross the street.
Okay.
Right.
But
Nobody
you had
bothers
your car
me.
stolen?
Years ago, I parked it at the metro, and because I was parking it there consistently, somebody realized that I was consistently parking and being gone for like a period of time.
Do you think that your car would be more or less likely to be stolen now that the National Guard is here?
Okay, you are not going to convince me that they're being here.
She's giving signs of a terminal case of TDS. She had her car stolen, and rather than say, yeah, we could use the help, she rationalizes the crime and blames herself for parking outside the metro consistently. She crosses the street whenever an unhoused person comes towards her. First off, the term unhoused is quickly becoming the next undocumented immigrant. Secondly, is the life she's describing something that DC residents should subjugate themselves to? Having to cross the street constantly from a drug addict, to have a constant fear that your car can be stolen. Now, when you see this clip of her from inauguration, you'll understand that if Trump cured cancer, she'd criticize him for putting doctors out of work.
Is there something differently that you'd like him to do? So, okay, but there's nothing differently. There's nothing.
I hate him.
But you can ask anything.
I hate him. I hate him.
But hold on, you can ask him to do any. I get that, but listen.
I hate him.
Okay.
They picked DC because DC is a majority black city.
No,
right?
They picked DC because
that's
it's the
why
nation's fucking capital. You can't have our fucking leaders, I say that loosely, walking around in a town where they could, at any moment, get robbed or shot. Right? But they all have private security, so they never have to worry about it. You ever notice that? They never walk by themselves when they walk through the streets? Interesting.
So to make it an example and to make black people and crime, to make white people fearful. It is bullshit.
It's not related to it being the nation's capital and that Trump.
It is bullshit. It is bullshit. He picked DC because DC is majority black, and he wants to frighten white people. That is so much chaos and bedlam that the four of them and the six before standing around since 6 o'clock this morning doing nothing.
And here's the kicker. It was only supposed to be 30 days. But Mayor Bowser came out and said, I would love to continue this and leave it under the DC police. She welcomes it. She has welcomed it. That's your leader. She goes She knows what goes on in this city. You don't, obviously. You're just paid to be there.
Given that she said that this is a racial thing, I asked her what she thought of this clip of another anti-Trump protester.
We believe that the National Guard and the military occupation is the first step into rounding black people up and putting them in detainment camps here in Washington, D.C. and around the United States of America.
They definitely want to erase the contributions of black people in this country. They definitely want, they got rid of the federal government, those workers in the federal government, because the majority of black people,
Your mouth is getting a little crusty on the sides.
highest employer of black people was the federal government. So the majority of people who were fired were black people. So yes, it is a black thing.
I know a lot of these civilians that work for the federal government. And the ones I know, they're majority white. So you mean to tell me that it's majority black? It's not. Everything I went to, out of a whole group, let's say I went to get my ID card, and there's 15 desks in there. 2 people will be black, and 1 is Asian. That's federal government.
That's the message she wants to give her supporters. She's been at this since 2017. If there was ever an article about protests at Trump's court cases, you'd most certainly see her in one of the photos. So who is paying for her travel? Well, Nadine just had a GoFundMe page set up, but it says that it's not to fund her protesting. In fact, the page is titled, "Help Nadine Leave the US." You can't make this shit up. In the text, it writes, Nadine obviously has lots of risk factors as a black immigrant and high-profile activist. The fact that she's a naturalized US citizen who has lived in the US since 1987 doesn't help these days. Her plan is to go to Trinidad and Tobago, her country of origin. Now, according to Nadine, it is illegal to be black in the United States, so she's raised $2,700, which is enough for a plane ticket to Trinidad from DC. The funny thing is, she told me this.
I'm living off of my 401k. Yeah, but I'm not on government. I used to have a service called Everyone Needs a Nadine, where I help people organize their homes. But I have decided to take a vacation from it to fight this fascist regime. And then I'm most likely going to self-deport because I don't want a rubber stamp living in a fascist state.
I wonder what her supporters would think that she's raising money to leave the US while considering staying. If it's a fascist regime, you don't publicly criticize it, and you certainly don't talk about leaving. Try doing whatever she's doing in North Korea and see what happens.
If we really had a fascist regime, anytime anyone would come out and say something about, Congress, the president, they don't end up in jail. They don't end up dead.
Now, if we looked at who actually organized this GoFundMe page for Nadine, it's another professional protester, and it's a teammate of hers. Her name is Wendy Brands, and if we scroll more, we see that they're side by side together, with Wendy carrying a sign that says the NYPD is the KKK. Now, there are over 5,000 black officers in the NYPD. I'll let you look up how many black people have been in the KKK. Wendy wrote this on her Facebook page. As someone...
How many black people have been in the KKK? I can think of 2. Clayton Bigsby and that fucking dude from dude, I just lost the name of the movie. God damn it. Because he's a black guy who makes phone calls to David Duke and acts like he's KKK, and they have a Jew that's the actual in person for the KKK, but he's not the guy that talks on the phone and all that shit. It's a good movie.
Who has been to hundreds of protests since 2016, including ones with non-violent civil disobedience leading to arrest. The more you get in the streets, the more uplifted and less scared you will be. That professional protesting pep talk aside, she posted a link for the Indivisible Project. That company got $7.6 million from George Soros to protest radical leftist causes. The Indivisible Project has been caught promising a $200 reimbursement for any group who protested Musk and Trump. They quickly took that site down, but now Soros is on the defensive as Trump has announced that Soros should be charged with RICO and that he's watching him closely. Now, Nadine has also organized GoFundMes for her own protest protesting
Nothing will happen to
projects like
George
this
Soros.
one to preserve the BLM fence. But no one can do professional protesting alone, and while Nadine does have Wendy as a teammate, she also has Karen Irwin. Karen's handle on Instagram is the Karen Resistance. Karen posts photos of the other Karen's work, the kazoo lady chalking around New York City writing stuff like this. They support each other, and if it wasn't for something so useless, it would actually be pretty neat. Here's Karen celebrating America's birthday, giving it a C+ for effort. She also refers to Trump rallies as Nazi rallies, which AOC loves. Here's a nice photo of them together. Now, we know how much they like the kazoo, so on Karen Irwin's Facebook page, she is seen rehearsing with it before going out to protest.
You're wearing
It
headphones,
is tough
my
to keep
bad.
track of the actual Karens. Now finally, Karen posts images of her and Nadine hanging out together, or in their case, just protesting. Here you can see them flipping off Trump Tower. You can see they're often mentioned in articles together. These two have been protesting Trump side by side for years, destroying the eardrums of anyone walking by. Next up, I went to this protesting encampment they have right outside Union Station. My immediate thought was that even with the National Guard here, they still let these people occupy this area to call Republicans Nazis. It would be almost as if Trump is not a dictator. Now let's see what they have to say, and then I'll follow the money.
My name's Nate. What's your name?
Randy.
Randy, nice to meet you. All right, tell me.
So yeah, my name's Randy. I'm one of the organizers with Flare.
Okay.
Flare stands
Flare,
for
there it is.
Liberation and Resistance Everywhere. We're a 24/7 sit-in protest outside of Union Station in Columbus Circle. We have some tents out here that we operate out of. So we do lots of activism in the.
Every time I see somebody say they need to impeach Trump, you need to impeach Trump. Okay, cool. That does nothing.
In the area, so we go and we protest down at Heritage Foundation. We protest over Fox News, but one of the main things we do is we collect signatures from constituents, and we take those letters up to their representative to advocate for impeach, convict, and remove Trump.
All right, so when he says we do activism in the area, what he really means is yelling Nazi at people leaving work at the Heritage Foundation.
Work for Nazis.
In their caption, they state they do this every Monday, citing that they have pizza, but no pizza for Nazis. This is also the group that heckled J.D. Vance at Union Station. Take a listen.
Fascist scum! Pete Hegseth, you're a white beater! J.D. Vance, you look like a constipated rodent! Get out of our city!
Before we expose Flare even more for their professional protesting, I want to talk about something that's also very important. Now, the system isn't broken. It's pdsdebt.com/Nate, pdsdebt.com/Nate. And now, back to the video. Here's Flare's team showcasing an F Trump flag, and if we go around the back of the tent, you can see that they put up the same flag that we saw at the No Kings protest, $9.99 on Amazon. Funny that they bought it on Amazon, where it's these people that are protesting billionaires every day. And this is the electronic version of the petition he was talking about to impeach Trump again. Third time's the charm, guys, even though both the Senate and the House are Republican. If you look at the bottom of the petition and who is behind it, you see it's by Free Speech for People. And the Tides Foundation just happened to give them $275,000, and the principal donor of the Tides Foundation is, of course, George Soros. They also got over $1 million through a donor advised fund, which are anonymous donations, and that could easily also be Soros.
I have to say, I'm kind of surprised that they're letting you guys be out here with the National Guard. Was it surprising that they let you stay here?
No. No. So we do have a permit.
Yeah.
So through National Park Service,
That's
so
great.
we're allowed to be here until the end of October.
Yeah.
And so we're going to stay here. So I'm a veteran, and and I have we set down some rules for our interactions with the Guard.
Yeah.
We respect our troops.
Randy, I would ask, is this really respecting the troops?
These are your own fucking citizens! These are homeless people!
You know, me being a veteran and knowing that who I am, knowing that those Humvees don't require a key, I would take one. I would totally take one.
You guys are fucking group, don't let them do this to you! It's abusive to you, and now you are gonna get fucked when you're fucked up, you have
That's crazy because, you know, this country says they respect veterans. There's times where I definitely got disrespected because of my job. Coming from a guy who saved children's lives, I promise you I'm not a fucking baby killer. Y'all would know nothing about war. You don't. So don't put yourself in a situation where you think you're right, because sometimes you might meet a veteran who's having a bad day. Because I know if I have a bad day, you're going to have a bad day.
They cut all your services. Refuse now. Do not do this.
If you're going to say that you set some rules for your interactions with the guard and then go do that, the only thing beyond that would just
Plus,
be
when
violence.
they tell them to honor your oath, they should actually read the oath. Because it states they support and defend the Constitution of the United States, as well as obey the orders of the President of the United States. It's literally in the oath.
Also, if you're fighting fascism, how can you say that with a straight face while you host a 24/7 encampment saying F Trump? There's a difference between a fascist and just a guy you don't like.
So I've heard from a lot of folks that they feel safer now that the National Guard is here. What is your response to basically some people feeling safer, but also, of course, there's more to it, right?
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. So, I mean, when it's some people, I'm not sure who those some people are. So if they're tourists in D.C. that feel safer, that's because they don't know D.C. They think D.C. is some sort of amusement park that's made up of the National Mall and the monuments and the museums. And so when they come here, they expect this, very sterile environment. And this is a lively city, and so the people that feel safe just don't understand or know D.C.
If you feel safe,
Hey,
you just
Larp,
don't
what's up, brother?
understand that in order to be a lively city, you need a crazy shirtless homeless guy running at you and screaming at you. That's what being in a lively city is all about.
Because I had always felt safe here. In fact, I feel less safe here with the guard here. But it's not necessarily...
Pull your head out of your fourth point of contact!
Oh.
Why are they calling him a Nazi?
He's a heckler. He rode by and said so.
through.
My favorite new one has been to tell them to take your saluting hand.
You can see just how casually they use the word Nazi. All this guy did was bike through a public area, and I didn't even hear him say anything. Around the tent, you can even see that Flair USA refers to ICE as the new Gestapo. Speaking as someone who has had family killed by the Gestapo, I'm gonna have to overrule you on that one.
Like with the National Guard being here, one of the things that makes us less safe is that, people will see the guard in their BDUs and their, camouflage. And now we have federal agents, ICE agents, DEA, FBI, dressing like that too, right? And we have video of them changing the departments they work for.
I see.
So we don't know where they're from. They wear masks.
It's funny when I saw a story that's saying that the ICE come in and they're wearing police on their body armor and shit, and they're like, oh, they're not authorized, they can't do that. Bro, they're ICE agents. They arrest people, which would make them the police. Oh, okay.
Gee, I wonder why they wear masks. Maybe it's because when they drive through taking criminals off the street, they get rocks thrown at them by unhinged leftists. And might be that on college campuses around the country they post flyers like this one saying to stomp out ICE. Or maybe they wear masks because their facilities are literally being attacked. Also, the irony of you accusing ICE agents for wearing...
I have no sympathy if they get deported. They came here illegally. My family didn't. It's a process, a long process, but it's worth it. No fucking free handouts for these motherfuckers.
Masks when I interview all these protesters on the streets who mostly hide their faces is really quite something. The difference is that these leftists who hide their faces are doing it because they want employment opportunities. The ICE agents are doing it because their lives are being threatened.
So I've seen like the statistics from both on the left and the right about how violent crime is down in DC. Do you believe that statistic? Do you think that they're making things up?
The violent crime is down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
since they moved in, like they cite that there hasn't been a murder in over 10 days.
I mean, there was a murder yesterday. So
There was one murder.
So,
Yep.
yeah. So it doesn't matter. So like that there's a downward trend to the crime.
Yeah.
You know, yes, of course there's going to be an initial downward turn in crime when you militarize the streets and people are scared. But what's going to happen is people are going to be sick of being pushed around.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see a crime uptick, and it's not going to be passive crime, unfortunately, because you can't oppress people like this. You can't.
Who are they oppressing? The criminals. I don't understand. We're a country of rules and laws. But we're not. We're not.
Expect people to live in a militarized zone when they've done nothing wrong other than be black or brown.
Okay, what is passive crime?
In my opinion.
Also, that seemed a little bit like a threat about how you can't expect people to be oppressed and then not rise up. I say that because he runs the so-called resistance in DC. Meet Randall Kindle, the organizer of For Liberation and Resistance Everywhere. I'd say my interview with him is going pretty well since he told the last reporter he spoke to f*** off and get a better job.
Does that mean anything to you at all, or? So I assuming you're white, correct, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're telling me to off and telling me to get a better job. So I mean, wouldn't that be racist because you're talking to a brown person?
Yep.
No.
How is that? Explain.
Because you need a better job. I didn't attack you for being brown.
I know, but
I told you to off and get a better job.
Okay.
I'll tell anyone to off and get a better job if they're working for
I don't
fascists.
think you will.
Randy goes by Blue-Laced Boots on his Instagram, and on his profile you can see how he clearly targets children. Here he is documenting where Pete Hegseth goes to church, calling him a fascist and part of a cult. While he's not responsible for the comments, one asked, "It's not fireproof?" John Casey is a Texas Democrat who calls for 20 to 30 million people to march into Washington, D.C. That, combined with asking for violence onto children, I'd say he's worth a little bit of the FBI's time. Randall has an obsession with kids as he makes posts about books like How to Talk to Your Son About Fascism, and a sign outside his tent saying, "Kids, ask your parents why they voted."
This fucking faggot veteran is a pedophile. Go fucking figure.
A rapist. Clearly a mother does not want her baby filmed here, and he films them anyway. In this post, Randy shows photos of a woman speaking in front of an Israeli flag with blood all over it. The woman is named Hazami. She's actually harassed the children of Anthony Blinken repeatedly, further continuing their psychotic obsession with children.
I saw on your Instagram, I think it was people coming out of the Heritage Foundation, and Flair USA was calling them Nazis.
Yep.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Where it's the one thing, as personally as speaking, as a Jew who has had family killed in the Holocaust, I'm a little bit concerned with the word Nazi. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Sure. Yeah. So number one, I have a master's in peace and conflict resolution, and I focus on genocide and mass atrocity prevention. And so genocide, Shoah, the Holocaust, it's nothing that is new to me. So when people do say Nazi, it's shorthand for fascist. It's an easy term, but it is an expression that is used quite a bit. But we all know, I mean, Nazism is a type of fascism, right? Yeah. So fascism is the umbrella. Yeah. So yes, we call them Nazis. It's fascism. Okay. Because of
so would you call somebody that's not holding a presidential election for like the past 3 elections a fascist or Nazi? Or is it democracy? Because he's canceled the elections because he can.
The policies of their anti-Semitism, of their apartheid apologies.
Anti-Semitism, you said?
Oh yeah, I mean,
how are they anti-Semitic?
Well, you do know why they support Israel, right? They're evangelical Christians, okay? And so they want a united Israel, so that way God will come down and destroy all the Jews, and we'll have Jesus take over, whatever.
So God's going to come down and kill all the Jews. But I thought they were God's chosen people. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's not based on the love of Israel or Jewish people. It's based off of wanting them to die.
All right, so
there's a Indiana Jones movie. You know, in some Indiana Jones movies, they would fly and they would have the map and the little plane going across. Israel wasn't there. It was only Palestine. And it was a whole area. That was weird.
Feeding him these lines. Flair paints itself as scrappy. They have a GoFundMe page that's raised over $20,000 with over 300 donations, claiming it covers pizza runs and art supplies. But if you look closer, Flair isn't even a non-profit. Donations run through their organizer, Jacob Adams' personal account, so no accountability. Next, we can see Flair joined the Removal Coalition, a movement started 11 weeks ago by Jessica Denson, where she says, "We are not just protesting the Trump regime, we want it removed." Also joining the Removal Coalition is We Are the Flood, led by activist comedian Cliff Cash, who runs the propaganda site DonaldLovesVladimir.com, listing Flair as a direct action ally. There are countless other small organizations that partner with each other to give you the illusion that this is organic, that it's purely grassroots. False. 5051, another one of those groups listed at the bottom of their flyers, is actually the link. They claim they're just 72,000 people on Reddit and Discord going to protests, when in fact, they're supported and connected with the most high-profile members of Congress. It goes like this. They are first tied to the Progressive Democrats of America, or PDA, which is a PAC that goes to the Congressional Progressive Caucus.
Who are they?
Members of the caucus include Ilhan Omar, AOC, and Bernie Sanders. According to 5051, they've been promoted by PDA. The Progressive Democrats of America, or PDA, raised $500,000 in just one election year, which would be more than enough to help keep these encampments up. It's not just Bernie Sanders and AOC supporting this behind the scenes. Congress is legitimizing Flair's behavior by speaking at their events. Al Green, Eric Swalwell, and Ilhan Omar have spoken at Flair's rallies. They all believe that it's okay to call Republicans Nazis, which is funny because Flair
How do you fucking
welcomes
have a sexual relationship with a Chinese spy while you're in Congress? And then you still have a fucking job years later. Huh? Fang Fang?
all to come to their rallies, except the 77 million Americans who voted for Trump.
Okay, so when Flair USA calls them Nazis, you guys don't mean that they want to put Jews in gas chambers like the Nazis did. You mean just faster.
No, they do want to do that. Well, I think eventually, well, not necessarily to Jews.
You hear about gas chambers, right? I'm not gonna lie, I've been in a few gas chambers myself with CS gas. And if I had to be there for the whole iteration, I made sure those pellets were multiple pellets. And it was strong. You keep me in that whole thing all day? Wait, were they trying to kill me? Because when you're in the army, you just go in there, you inhale, and you got like 30 seconds and you get out. And it's just CS gas. Burns on the skin if you're sweating. Makes it hard to talk. I have no issues with it. I don't know where I went with this, but I still remember it. Like I can see it like it was yesterday. I was brutal in those gas chambers.
Okay, so because fascism
will
take over whatever populist thing they can get away with, right?
Yeah.
And so now we're starting with LGBTQ folks, especially trans folks. We have immigrants. You know, it starts off with marginalized populations, right? And so the same with Nazi Germany. Jews were a marginalized population there, right? And so that's how it starts, and then it keeps expanding. So we see, you know, handicapped people are going to be targeted, homeless people are going to be targeted. Disabled folks are more likely to be seen as homeless than anyone else, and as we see.
Wait, I'm homeless? I didn't know that. Damn it, get rid of that disabled name. Part of it. No, just kidding. Leave that shit there.
Like, they don't care about talking to people. They just kidnap them and they take them. So, and like, there's some people that we don't know where they are. We have a hard time tracking them down.
Yeah, we do.
They don't put them in the system. They only put it on paper. So it takes, you know, a lot longer to find these people in the system. So these are, you know, things that happen over and over and over again throughout fascism. And yes, so eventually, yes, they will march people through gas chambers. So I'm not sure if it's going to be Jews, but it will be.
Whoa! You can see firsthand why therapy skyrocketed after Trump's win, because people have started comparing trans people in America today to Jews in Germany in the 1930s. Finally, I asked him, what can we do to prevent this fascism?
Don't let these, cops or law enforcement run around, kidnapping people.
But to be fair, how can civilians prevent cops from doing that?
I mean, do you see what happened in Columbia Heights the other day?
Tell me.
Chased them out. They chased
them out?
Yeah.
Wow.
There
Like a
was
big group of people?
Yeah, enough civilians got together and were witnessing and saying, we are watching.
Yeah.
And they left.
Okay.
And that's what we want people to do.
But they came back.
We need that critical mass of people to say, no, we're not. You're not going to kidnap our neighbors.
Yeah.
You're not going to terrorize us.
Understood.
And it's hard. It's hard to be brave like that,
Well,
right?
my neighbors
Especially when you're faced with guns.
In the intro, I said that I
Even
wanted
if
to do
fucking
something
we were
else.
friends, I would
Actually, I
turn
wanted to
that
speak
in.
to many DC locals about what they think of Trump
There's a legal
leaving the guard
fucking way to
in.
do it.
I ended up speaking to 2 professional protesters, but I still did go and make that video, so that will be the next video. I also, in that video, spoke to the...
Like, no shit. I would turn illegals in, even if they were good friends of mine, because it's a long fucking... And it's expensive. Well, depends. It was expensive for me. It was expensive for my wife. I don't know about... It's whatever. I wish I had the $5 million gift card. What was it called? Gold card? Alright, anyway. Those of you that know that have been following me for a little while, you know RFK is pretty high on RFK Jr. I agree with a lot he says, and if I had a choice to vote for him, I would have. But Donald Trump was smart, and he put this guy, RFK Jr., and Vivek Ramaswamy on his team. So when you do that, like, he had me. Like, no, they're all going over there. Tulsi. Where was I going with that? Either way, COVID, Big Pharma, wanting to fire RFK Jr. because he wants to fire the director of the FDA because she's inept. But it's because she's black, guys. It's totally because she's black. I don't think this one involves because she's black, but that's all it is about. He fired her because she was black. Also, the 1,000 fucking employees that were working on the COVID shit, which obviously they weren't doing the right thing, except for making it worse.
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
RFK Jr. tore into
Dude, he was on
skeleton-looking
fire.
Democrats. I highly recommend watching until the end because this is so satisfying to watch.
Senator, you've sat in that chair for how long? 20, 25 years, while the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%. And you said nothing. You never asked the question why it's happening. Why is this happening? Today, for the first time in 20 years, we learned that infant mortality has increased in our country. It's not because I came in here. It's because of what happened during the Biden administration that we're going to end.
You promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them.
Here's the thing.
You just changed the class.
She's a sitting senator, and she's spreading misinformation. He said he's not taking the vaccines away. Period. They're not going away. He's taking away the fact they need to be mandatory. That's what he's trying to get at. And you're too fucking stupid, and your constituents obviously are too fucking stupid to believe what you're saying.
Of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking
And
them
the
away from people,
consequence-
Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
Everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
No, I didn't.
Kennedy,
I
not
never
mine.
promised that I was going to
You didn't
recommend
promise-
products with which
I'm
there is no
sorry.
indication.
When you said,
And I know you've
vaccines
taken
are working for
$855,000 from
I'm not
pharmaceutical
going to take
companies,
away-
Senator. You want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data? Is that what you want?
You received $300,000 from people, not from the industry, people in it, as I did, from individuals. You corrupt. President Trump got $3 million. Every Republican got corporate PAC money for the pharmaceutical industry. Democrats as well. Everybody is corrupt, but you?
Yeah.
Is that what we're looking at?
That's why he's calling
And I
y'all
think
out.
the issue
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The issue is every time anyone disagrees with you.
Are you saying the pharmaceutical industry was supporting my presidential campaign?
I'm saying
I don't think
no.
so.
You unilaterally changed the parameters for giving vaccines, making it
Your RFK
possible
did
now,
not back
to Senator
down.
Cassidy's colleagues' points, that they're going to have to go off-label
This is crazy talk. You're just making stuff up. You're just making stuff up, Senator.
I'm not
You're
making
just
stuff
making stuff up.
You know, sometimes when you make an accusation, it's kind of a confession, Mr. Kennedy.
Oh, okay.
You are citing data that you won't produce to the public,
You're just
and you are
making things up.
rejecting
You're
science.
making things up to scare people, and it's a lie.
There it is.
With respect, I do not think I'm the one making things
You
up.
are
Thank you,
lying
Fear
Mr.
right
propaganda.
now, Senator. All the evidence is transparent for the first time in history, and you were never there complaining when the pharmaceutical companies were picking those people and then running their products through with no safety testing.
You can characterize it any way you want. I quoted them today. What I said was accurate. What you said were lies. You
Are you
described
saying,
people
Senator,
moving the Titanic.
Senator, are you saying that the mRNA vaccine has never been associated with myocarditis or pericarditis in teenagers?
I am simply.
Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I am simply trying to say that the people that you have put on that panel, after firing the entire.
You're evading the question.
My man.
No, I'm asking the questions here,
You're
Mr.
evading
Kennedy.
that question.
I'm asking the questions,
I
Mr.
asked
Kennedy.
you a question.
In the days after the
Don't
tragic
forget, Senator Kennedy used to be on the other side doing the same shit to witnesses.
shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in my home state of Minnesota, you went on Fox News blaming school shootings on antidepressants. You have no evidence of that.
She's trying to say that because these school shooters aren't mentally ill, when if you look at them, they all had mental problems. To include the one from Minnesota, who hated the fact that he was trans. He hated it.
Because you have no evidence of a connection. And you want to talk about...
You're just saying something. You're just making stuff up. I never said that. You're making it up. You're twisting. Yeah, you are. You are being dishonest right now.
You want to talk about mental health and gun violence in this country? If you want to talk about mental health and gun violence in this country, we should be talking about that, because that's what the parents of Annunciation School
You don't want to talk. You want to harangue, and you want to politically. You want to have partisan politics.
That is
I want to actually solve these problems.
Mr. Kennedy, you hired a man named David Geyer to conduct this study. Is that correct?
No.
Is Mr. David Geyer working for HHS?
He's a contractor, but he's not conducting a study.
He's a contractor?
He's a contractor.
Do you know who works for you, Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah.
Did you know he never went to medical school?
He's not. He's not practicing medicine.
Did you know that he got caught in Maryland and was charged for practicing medicine without a medical license?
He was charged by a medical board. He sued the medical board, and the medical board was found to have acted in actual malice and was fined.
Ow! These fucking dudes are trying to get gotcha questions. RK is way smarter than they think. He may talk funny, and I guarantee he could beat all their asses in a fucking fist fight. But he's right. They think it's because he's got worms in his brain or some bullshit.
$2.6 million by a judge in Maryland for doing that.
See, so you choose to know a lot when you want to know a lot. It's incredible, Mr. Kennedy.
Senator, you're ridiculous.
Clearly, you have an agenda.
I hate this dude.
It is a threat to the public health of the American people. It's clear that you are carrying out your extremist beliefs, which is why you attempted to fire Dr. Menarez.
Sir, I'm not.
We're the sickest people on earth. I'm speaking.
How am I a threat?
I don't know. I know for a fact
Thank you,
I
Mr.
don't like
Chairman. So,
Big Pharma. Because now I believe I am a permanent recipient of SSRIs. I was off one of the meds because I ran out, and apparently the auto refill said fuck you because they didn't recognize it. So for about 7 to 9 days, I was without one of the medications. I don't know if it was like physically, mentally, but I think it's more for the nerve damage. Gabapentin, apparently they love to put veterans on gabapentin. Don't know why. Why are they trying to block our nerves? What do they know that we don't? I mean, obviously it doesn't get all the pain. Sorry, I'm really fucking venting today. It's Friday, and like I said, I don't give a fuck. Fuck it Fridays is what I used to call this in the Army.
last November, while you were under consideration to become Secretary of Health and Human Services, Mr. Kennedy, you said, quote, if vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away.
Oh, I know
no
that short
exceptions,
bus.
no ifs, ands, or
I know this. Trust me, I know. But when you're on active duty, this is never prescribed. Never. If they wanted to put you on something that was supposed to be like that, it would put you on Mobic. And Mobic's like a really stupid concentration of ibuprofen where you take it once or twice a day, and it's garbage. They wanted to put me on that, and I'm like, you guys are fucking dumb. When's the longest you've gone without one? Short buzz, because I believe I'm on 1800. Twice a day. Oh. I'm on 2,400 milligrams a day. And then you go from 2,400 milligrams to zero for a week or so. Dude, I don't know. I really don't know.
but you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. Then last week, you announced that the COVID-19 vaccine is no longer approved for healthy people under the age of 65. In announcing the change, you said the vaccine will be available for anyone who wants it. Now, obviously, both things cannot be true at the same moment. So let's clear this up.
One of the good things is I know my body. For some reason, I know it really well. And if they try to put me on some kind of medication, I would give it you're supposed to give it 30 days, but I don't. If I start taking it, I already know it's garbage. Just like when they tried to put me on Wellbutrin for PTSD. It didn't do shit for me. It didn't. Then they tried to put me on all other kinds. I mean, I went through 10 years of clinic or trials of medicine. Imagine how fucked up I was. I was just an experiment. But I was a good experiment because I was very good at my job. Tell my wife and kids all the time, I'm so glad I went through all this shit so you guys could be comfortable, living comfortably. But I feel every bit of it every day. I don't know. I know I say that a lot. Like I said, I'm in one of those funks right now.
Right now, Secretary Kennedy, will you tell America that all adults and all children over 6 months of age are eligible to get a COVID booster at their local pharmacy today?
Anybody can get the booster.
I'm sorry?
Anybody can get it, Senator.
Anybody. So
Yep.
you're saying that is now the official rule of HHS. Anybody is eligible to get a booster by just walking into the pharmacy.
Yeah. It's not recommended for healthy people.
No. If you don't recommend, then the consequence of that in many states is that you can't walk into a pharmacy and get one. It means
That's false. He's not getting rid of any false. You know what he's doing getting rid of for immunizations? He's getting rid of the mercury. The mercury that they put in these immunizations. That's a very good fucking thing. He's not eliminating vaccines, you stupid cunt. You should know that. I listened to him a couple months, or whenever he said it, like a month, or I don't remember when it was, but he said he would not eliminate. Period. But he would make it to where it's like, what's that fucking thing? Body autonomy. Sorry, my brain's in like 15 different ways right now.
Insurance companies don't have to cover the $200 or so cost. As Senator Dr.
Wait. You mean to tell me the COVID vaccine is $200 fucking dollars? There's no fucking way.
Cassidy said you are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend.
See, I was kind of hoping this was going to be me. My body just, for some reason, it's stuck and wake up before 6 o'clock. No matter what time I go to bed, 6 o'clock, I'm going to wake up. Sometimes, like the past couple days, 1 or 3. And I hear 3 is a really bad time to be waking up, but I don't give a fuck.
Recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
And that is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
Juniper, that's why I said it doesn't work. Like, I heard a lot of people say Zoloft doesn't work for them, so they try not to get on it. Like I said, I went through a lot of years, a lot of medications, and Zoloft was the best. The best. And along with Trazodone, pairing Trazodone, when the guy prescribed it for me, he said, this is what Vietnam veterans take. That's what I use for sleeping. Because I used to be on a daily dose of 20 milligrams of Ambien. And let's just say, even with Ambien, I would still wake up, around that time. My body's just set like that. I can't explain it, and it'll probably never go away. Because remember, I've been out for almost 6 years.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy.
What's $10,000? Or are you just fucking with me?
For free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants
By the way, my daughter works in a pharmacy, and she just got the memo. They're waiting on the memo to say it's not mandatory. So it's happening in Tennessee.
That was your promise.
No, I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said,
and I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said,
guys, remember,
she's
a senator that lied that she was a
now, Senator Kennedy,
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary,
you want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access.
It depends on the state. It depends on the states.
A year ago.
That is covered by insurance, I hope. That's fucking insane. And you know what's funny? A lot of these medications, they are fucking cheap when they buy them. They mark it up 200 to 500%. You know how I know? I used to order all kinds of medications. All kinds. Name brands and everything. And let's just say a flu vaccine, or not flu, what was it? A vial of the flu vaccine, 10 shots, was 1 penny. 1 penny. And I heard people were paying $25 a shot for that. I used to buy medications for $20, $30 for a bottle. A bottle. But people, I don't understand. I'm so glad I have the VA and I have TRICARE. That's unlucky, and I'm glad. Because not so many people are so fortunate.
You can still get it. Everybody can get it. Everybody can get it, Senator.
So look, let's move on. You clearly are taking away vaccines.
Oh my
I've
God.
seen a list for what's coming up next, and that is the agenda for the next CDC vaccine panel. And first up is ratifying your COVID actions. Second is
What's up,
hepatitis
Angela?
B is on the agenda. So should Americans expect you to take away hepatitis vaccine access as well, even though you promised?
Medical personnel have to take hepatitis B. Period. Period.
Not to?
As I said, I'm not taking vaccines away from anybody.
Okay, same answer, right? You're just going to deny that when people can't get access, that you're not taking it away. Then let me ask you, is that the same game you're going to play with me?
You want me to recommend every product in the world so that without any clinical trial data?
Through on your promises.
Yeah, my promise was to give.
A month ago, we could get COVID vaccines by just walking.
You can still get COVID vaccines, Senator.
You are taking that away.
No, you are still.
You see this dismiss and disinformation that this bitch is pushing out? Nobody fucking fact checks her. I guarantee you, every liberal that watched this thing that she fucking cooked RFK. She cooked him. This bitch was in an oven and got burned. Like in camps.
You can still get the COVID vaccines, and Medicare will still pay for them, and Medicaid will still pay for them.
Head of the CDC that if she refused to sign off on your changes to the childhood vaccine schedule, that she had to resign?
No, I told her that she had to resign because I asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said no.
This part I did not know, that whether it's a real point or not, I believe it's a real point. Because if he has somebody like that in that position, I'd kind of fucking fire you too. You just told me you're not trustworthy. Why would I want somebody working for me in a high position that admitted that they're not trustworthy? Would you keep that employee?
Are you a trustworthy person? And she said no. So if you had an employee who told you they weren't trustworthy, would you ask them to resign, Senator?
So I'm sorry, but this is not what she has said publicly. She has said
I'm not surprised about that.
So you're saying she's lying?
Yes. Every conversation I had with her, there were
Let me get
witnesses.
this straight. This is the same
Let her talk,
person that
bitch.
less than a month earlier, you stood next to her and described her as unimpeachable, and you had full confidence in her. And
Well, technically he's right. She is she is unimpeachable because she's not elected to that position, you dumb bitch.
that you had full confidence in her scientific credentials. And in a month, she became a liar?
Yeah, you should ask her what changed. And by the way, a month ago, you were voting against her. Because you thought she was either incompetent, ineligible, or unsuited to the task.
I voted against her because I was afraid she was going to bend the knee to you and Donald Trump.
Whoa. So she didn't even want to confirm her. It's fucking crazy.
We're following a massive
Two-faced to where it has to fit their narrative. Like Jack Sparrow. Oh, it's just getting crazy. Crazy, and, well, let's head to Georgia, where they make Hyundai electric batteries. You guys already know I don't like electric batteries. Plus, they're dangerous to the environment. And they want to make more Hyundai. You think you're going green? You're not. You just fell victim to the goddamn propaganda.
ICE raid at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. Officials say roughly 450 undocumented migrants were apprehended. Now, Thursday's raid was carried out by multiple state and federal law enforcement agencies, including ICE, the FBI, and the Georgia State Patrol. I want to bring in CNN's Isabel Rosales, who's been monitoring this. So, Isabel, what is the latest this morning?
Omar, good morning. With more than 450 people apprehended, this marks what appears to be one of the largest ICE raids at a single site in the 22-year history of this agency.
Bro, 450 illegals working in this factory. That's fucking crazy. Because you know they weren't getting paid. They were getting probably half of what they should be getting. That is fucking insane. They support slave labor. Think about that. Everybody that gets all mad about these illegals, getting taken out of these jobs, they're slave labor or indentured servants, if you want to be technical about it, because they're getting paid. But
now, here's what we know. This happened at the Hyundai Meta plant site. This is in Ella Bell, Georgia. This is just 25 miles or so west of Savannah. And according to the Associated Press, this raid stopped construction of this factory that's being built to produce batteries for electric vehicles. This same site, this same project, this was touted by Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp, who called it the largest economic development site in the state's history. Now, we have video that we're showing in pieces here of masked and armed agents there at the site, giving out orders while officers raided the facility. We can also see workers here in hard hats and vests. They were lined up as this was ongoing.
If there's ever one, I've been through a lot, driving through a lot of states. GSP, they don't fucking play, period.
On site was ICE, Georgia State Patrol, FBI, DEA, ATF.
What's up, DJ Fruit Loop?
Executing, Omar, a search warrant that DHS says is part of an ongoing criminal investigation into this, quote, allegations of unlawful employment practices and other serious federal crimes. They're saying that this sends a clear and unequivocal message, too, that they're taking this very serious. And here is the special agent in charge, what he had to say about this raid.
We are making many arrests of undocumented individuals. We have encountered many lawful employees working here, United States citizens and lawful permanent residents, and they are, of course, being released.
Meanwhile, Hyundai says it is cooperating with law enforcement, saying this: we are committed to abiding by labor and immigration regulations. And meanwhile, Omar, on this same day, hundreds of miles away in upstate New York, another large raid at a work site. Dozens of workers at a family-owned plant that makes nutrition bars were also apprehended during an ICE raid. CNN affiliate WSTM reports that about 60 workers were detained. New York's governor condemned this raid, saying it doesn't make their streets safer. And the owner of that nutrition plant told the New York Times that the workers had legal documentation to work in the U.S., calling this ICE raid a, quote, overkill.
Well, if they had legal documentation, they detained them. They didn't deport them. They detained them. So, hear me out. If they detained them and they were found to be legal, they would be released. A lot of people have been released. But what happens if somebody gets released or tries to get released and they end up having a fake green card? What?
That was a fake green card.
Hey guys, Willie Rosas here. We're down here in Miami. For the past few days, we were with ICE doing a ride-along as they do their removal operations here in the free state of Florida. We wanted to get a different perspective on how operations like that are happening here as opposed to some of the other sanctuary jurisdictions in other parts of the country. And many of the agents that I spoke to said that while they are busy down here because of the large illegal alien population, it is easier in some regards because they do get the help from the state and local law enforcement departments as opposed to, let's say, in Chicago or Los Angeles. While ICE does do targeted enforcement operations, because of the change in administration, because of the change in policies from President Trump, they do take anybody who is illegal into custody if they encounter them during a targeted enforcement operation. That did happen a few times, and it turns out that some of those people that they weren't initially targeting did have extensive criminal records, and this is how it went.
It was 5 a.m. in southern Florida, just before the Labor Day weekend. But agents with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement were geared up and ready to take an illegal alien with a criminal record into custody. The target was a man from Mexico who had previously been convicted with aggravated assault on a pregnant woman in Florida. He had already been deported this year.
This dude, he is a reinstate ag battery and a convicted felon for ag battery on a pregnant woman.
There was a high chance agents would be encountering other illegal aliens either at the house the target lived at with his family or with the coworkers who would pick him up for work. The agents got into position and waited. Once it was confirmed the target got into the pickup truck, agents pounced and initiated the stop. Agents were able to take the target into custody right away. It was quickly discovered another man in the vehicle, also from Mexico, was in the country illegally. The driver, who said he was from the Dominican Republic, insisted to agents he was in the U.S. legally and had a green card, but he did not have the documents on him, which he said were at the house. He further claimed he had not been deported before. The man agreed to bring the ICE agents back to his house to show proof of his legal status. Once agents arrived and went inside, it was quickly determined that the green card the man claimed he had was fake. By presenting a fraudulent document to federal agents,
I honestly do believe building a factory and then running the factory, it boosts a lot of employment. And I think that's why Tennessee is the way it is, because we have a lot of factories. I literally have a fucking LG and one of those Japanese tire companies on the other side of town. And then you have the military.
Dominican would pick up a federal charge.
And I was going to run a story yesterday, DJ for a loop, that employers are actually using and they're literally getting rid of people because they can use AI.
The three men were brought back.
Really, man? That kind of sucks. Both of mine are in their 20s and they both work pretty much at the same place in the pharmacy.
To the processing facility in Miramar. There, it was discovered the Dominican had a lengthy criminal record, which included being arrested in 1999 for aggravated assault. He was convicted in 2001 and was sentenced to 1 year in prison. He was arrested again in 2001 for first-degree arson, harassment, was convicted, and sentenced to 1 year in prison and 3 years of supervised release. In February 2003, he was ordered to be removed by an immigration judge in Baltimore, and he was deported back to the Dominican Republic on February 5th, 2003. He would later illegally re-enter the United States at an unknown date and time. While barely 9 a.m. that day, holding cells inside the facility had other illegal aliens who were waiting to be processed or...
No shit. I thought it would be more like Dora. I know Dora's got a lot of Hispanics.
Were waiting to be transferred to the detention facility. Another ICE team brought in more illegal aliens to be processed while Blaze Media was at the ICE facility. The Miami ICE Enforcement Removal and Operations Division is averaging around 120 arrests per day. Those numbers do not include arrests made by Border Patrol, Homeland Security Investigations, or their Florida partners. For Blaze Media, I'm Julio Rosas.
So they are getting
Possible
the fake
federal
and we'll see what happens. Now they have to verify. I hope that the process is easy to verify. It should be just putting their name into a system. Well, they don't have a database, but they do. It's called NCIS, not NCIS. National Immigration. We'll just say immigration. Then they have police, local, federal, FBI. Bro, FBI background check's kind of funny. They needed it for my clearance. All these things to verify people, and they're getting away with well, employers. I know why employers are allowing them, because they want the fucking hands. And their excuse would be like, oh, they had some documentation. I thought they were legal. I wasn't going to check myself. All right, cool.
My next guest is an ex-Chicago kingpin who went from dealing billions of dollars worth of drugs as one of North America's most successful cocaine.
Yeah, I don't know why I said forgot to add Ville, but yeah, I used to go to Doraville a lot. They have a Filipino store that's on point.
Traffickers to bringing down the infamous drug lord El Chapo as a government informant. He is former Sinaloa cartel kingpin Margarito J. Flores Jr., who joins us here.
Bro used to work for Sinaloa, and he still wears a mask.
On set. Jay, it's great to see you again. We've been together on several occasions. I feel like it's necessary every time
like
to
I'm
clarify
50-50
for the audience
on whether or not this
why
guy's
you are
legit
wearing
or
that
not.
mask, why you're wearing the sunglasses.
Fear of persecution. My life will continue to be
Oh
in danger.
shit,
I
Doraville
testify
is
against the most
on Buford Highway. Jesus Christ.
deadliest and powerful drug cartels.
Or at
that
least
exist.
off of Buford Highway.
So yes, it's for my safety, and I know that many individuals might think that I still look the same, and but I don't. But I do it for my safety.
Well, we can all appreciate that, testifying against El Chapo, going against the Sinaloa cartel. The Sinaloa cartel is one of the cartels, the primary cartel.
Cardio. This is why, if you've been following me long enough, I have not been a fan of AI. I'm not. I use it, but like it's progressing. And it's going to progress to where, we're done. We're going to have that movie, I, Robot. And guess what? Elon already built robots. It looked just like that.
In fact, that the Trump administration says they're going after and going on offense. What do you think about this approach, going on offense?
Well,
sure
it's
is
great, especially today is kickoff, right? I returned that analogy, but taking it to where the cartel's territories, as we saw with the bombing of a boat.
Angela, I'm willing to bet they get financial assistance for the government for this. I am 100% betting they do. So yes, they're getting them cheap. I believe the federal government is actually paying for them, at least the equipment.
With drug traffickers, I think it sends a clear message to every drug trafficking organization and cartel that the Trump administration is taking this very seriously, and they're not playing any games.
But how high and how far do we have to escalate the war? Jay, you have talked about this with me. I mean, the number of drugs coming into Mexico and then coming into America, and the amount of money going back into Mexico, it's like every time we do something, it's swatting at a gnat. There is a swarm of gnats when it comes to the cartels.
Yes, I believe the seizure of these precursor chemicals, I believe it was 600,000 kilograms of precursors, that has a more significant impact on drug trafficking overall. But I think
now this one I found really interesting. So Puerto Rico, you're about to get like 15 fighter jets to help patrol the Gulf and the Caribbean, and maybe to launch attacks on Venezuela. Remember, he's the president of peace. He brings peace to the country, to this nation. He didn't start any wars. But he is. He kind of is.
Reporting the U.S. is ordering the deployment of 10 F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico to aid in the fight against the cartels. That's in addition to the U.S. military.
I believe Jaguar is owned by Ford.
Presence already in the Southern Caribbean. These developments come after the Department of Defense told News Nation 2 Venezuelan fighter jets flew near a U.S. Navy warship in what they called a provocative maneuver. The Pentagon warns Venezuela not to interfere with beefed up U.S. naval presence in the region. Fly over just 2 days after the U.S. hit a suspected Venezuelan drug smuggling boat, killing 11. Retired Major General William Enyart with us now. Good morning to you. What's your read on this situation?
Well, I question why in the world anybody would need to use F-15s against drug smugglers.
It appears to me that Donald Trump is escalating this in order to provide yet another distraction from all of the many problems he's facing here domestically between tariffs and Epstein and the labor market. So clearly, you don't need to use F-15s to strike drug smuggling fast boats.
We just
How
need
do
drones.
you target cartels that are bringing drugs into the country?
Well, it's a law enforcement operation. It's been a law enforcement operation. Donald Trump has begun using the military in ways that simply have never been done, and frankly, go far beyond his legal authority to do so. The question of the drug smuggling boat, alleged, I should say, drug smuggling boat that was destroyed by the U.S. military the other day. Were they operating under the laws of war? Were they, or simply were they murdering, frankly?
Hear me out. Hear me out. Are we at war? We've been at war for a long time for a certain cause. So technically, we've been at war with this for decades, right? It's called the war on drugs. So if you want to be technical about it, it is war on drugs and smugglers.
People who are alleged to be drug smugglers. We have no evidence they were in fact drug smugglers. We have no evidence there were drugs on board. So this is clearly an escalation of the use of military force that is uncalled for when it should be a drug enforcement operation run by DEA and the Coast Guard.
When it comes to these types of military maneuvers that we're seeing in international waters, what's the risk of a miscalculation or a misinterpretation?
Well, frankly, you're going to kill innocent people. Back in 2001.
That really is insane.
The CIA notified the Peruvian government that a plane was.
It's not going to happen, Corey. It's not going to happen. Every major investment we've got from all these other countries have been investing in AI in the United States. Palantir is going to be AI, and they're going to monitor, if they're not already. They're already monitoring and storing our every move we have, every digital footprint that we leave. They have it recorded.
Smuggling drugs. The Peruvian Air Force shot it down, and guess what? It was actually American missionaries, not drug smugglers, who were on that plane. So, once you kill somebody, you don't bring them back.
It was a
That's
boat.
why this is a law enforcement operation. President Duterte, the former President Duterte in the Philippines, is under indictment by the International Criminal Court now because he was having his police forces murder drug dealers, and alleged drug dealers, I should say, on the streets of the Philippines. This is not far removed from that.
Yeah, dude, I could see how they could fucking totally steal people's identities. That's crazy. And people know what's happening, but they still don't stop it.
Trump doesn't have the authority to have our military or our police or anyone else murder someone. This is something
Juniper,
that
they have. I believe specifically the Sinaloa. And fucking Mexico gave us like 26 members of the cartels.
needs to be handled in the judicial system with adequate due process.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
You're right, DJ Fruit Loop. I didn't think you were yelling at me. All right. So I think now we're done with... No, we're not. Oh, did I skip those? All right, we're going to go to street interviews, a racist, and a traffic stop. Traffic stop was wild. Let's see. Dude, you think this is why they have all these fucking urgent care clinics? Because they get tons of information cleaning these urgent care clinics. And that is probably the biggest scam way to get them. Hell, these fucking clinics pop up every 15 fucking seconds. So who knows? We have urgent care clinics all over Clarksville. It's insane. And you should have seen the lines for the COVID vaccines. Exactly. And they pop up everywhere. I don't know if it's doing it in Georgia because I didn't see too many in Columbus, but I know here they're everywhere. Actually, I think I know one in Columbus. It was Buena Vista Road.
Your kid's on puberty blockers?
My extended family is on puberty blockers.
How old are they, if you don't mind me asking?
They started puberty at 11, and they didn't want to have breasts. They didn't want to have...
Whoa.
And it's a pause.
Who the fuck hits puberty at 11? I'm pretty sure I was like 13 or 14.
It's reversible. Puberty blockers are reversible. It's a pause, but our family member has been trans since 4.
Oh.
Say coincidentally you felt like you were a girl, but you were in a man's body. To force you to get puberty, hair, underarm hair, Adam's apple, when that's not you, and you grow in that body, these puberty blockers allow these children to not have that body, because that body for them is dead.
You notice she used a keyword, children. Children are so impressionable. So people like this bitch, they push it to their kids, their grandkids. They're like, yeah, this is you. Because they want to be part of the in crowd. Because their life sucks so fucking much that they gotta fake it to make it.
So, the first claim, puberty blockers are reversible. How does that work? How are they reversible?
It's a pause. Because what a puberty blocker does is it pauses the puberty process. There's 5 stages of puberty, and so basically it pauses it. So the minute they get off of the puberty blockers, their body continues in their biological puberty.
So out of 100 kids, how many of these kids do you think come off puberty blockers, and when do they come off of them, do you think?
The only kids that are really, that are trans and not, experimenting or anything, they go through with it.
Yeah, they stay on them.
They stay on them until they get onto cross hormones, which are not reversible.
So therefore, it's not a pause. It's just stopping puberty.
No, it's a pause because they can get off of them and continue in the regular biological puberty. So
well,
it is a pause.
So the truth is that.
But it's their decision.
Okay, so.
Right?
May I just make my counterpoint?
Let me finish for a second.
All right.
If our children want to grow breasts and hips if they're a trans boy, they have that option.
No,
they can always get off the blockers, and they don't want to because they're in the wrong body.
Okay.
And so, go ahead to ask me your question.
Okay, so sure, if a child went on puberty blockers for 3 months or so, came off, not too much harm done, right? Puberty would resume.
It would even presume if they went on for 2 years, it would still resume.
They
Their
would have
breasts
lost.
would start to grow.
They would have lost out on 2 years of development.
No,
like
they
these boys that go on puberty blockers from the age of 12.
Yo, this is kind of why I learned like Spanglish. I worked with a lot of people from different countries, so I understand broken English for the most part from a lot of different people. Spanglish, as I call it, and some people, got to the point where I would hear certain words and I would just be like, all right, I didn't know what he's talking about. That's how my brain works. Like, I may not understand everything. If I hear certain keywords, I already know exactly what they're talking about and I can break it down. It's kind of weird. Even fucking Koreans and Japs, I can understand them. You know who the worst are? Puerto Ricans, though. No lie. Trying to understand a Puerto Rican if you don't understand Puerto Rican, which is Spanish, I get it. Bro, you will be lost every time they talk to you. That's why whenever I talk to them, I like turn my ear. That way I'm going to hear something I already know. And then I can, oh, this is what you mean. Oh, yeah. Huh? Rodriguez? You know I was your favorite because I could understand you.
17, for example, they end up with a micropenis for life.
Are you talking? No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Well, sure they do.
You're saying that it just resumes? And there's no damage done. What is your basis for saying that, if you don't mind me asking?
Because I work with our pediatricians, And I've worked with multiple pediatricians on that, and that's scientific evidence that they provide.
So you're not
Where's
aware
your
that these boys
information?
end up with a micropenis for life?
Are you talking about trans boys, or are you talking about biological boys?
There's
I'm
only
talking
one.
about males.
That get onto the puberty blockers?
That's right. They end up with a micropenis for life.
They probably
What's
want
the
that.
point of the
They
mask?
don't want a penis.
No,
They want a
but
vagina.
puberty doesn't resume at 17. Those years are
So
gone.
here's what happens
Those years
with
are
the
gone.
boys.
What's the point of the fucking mask? It's all she's gonna do is pull it down under her chin. What's the fucking point of having a goddamn mask in today's age? Why? Are you a paid protester?
You're talking about a biological boy who wants to be a female, right? They do need at some point in time to have penile growth. So their pediatrician and their endocrinologist will work with them on that, because in order to have a successful vaginoplasty, they have to work together with their endocrinologist. Yeah, they do.
So do you know what ends up happening
Have
to
you
these
have
boys?
you met with a pediatrician?
Hold on. Like,
Have you?
let's
I
have
used
it
to
back
work
and
for a
forth here, where you
pediatrician.
talk and then I
Yeah,
talk.
okay.
Let's do that.
Go ahead, let's do
That's
it.
like what we call a
So what
conversation.
happens, like,
I'm aware of a
when you get in the military, you have your physician's assistant, right? Which pretty much runs everything because he works under someone else's license, and I work under the PA's license. But when you deploy, you get Profis docs, and they're typically MDs. One of the first Profis docs I had was a fucking pediatrician. This is the same pediatrician that when he went to put morphine in a fucking casualty, he stuck himself with the fucking morphine in the thumb because it was an auto injector. And we had to sit him down and pretty much say, sit down, you're inept. And we did our jobs. We clowned him for the rest of the deployment, but he's good people. Really good people.
All right, everyone. You are already drinking coffee, but is it doing anything for you other than giving you a caffeine spike? Rejuvenate this video.
These boys, when they grow up and they have this 12-year-old's penis as a 17 or 18-year-old, and they want to get the vaginoplasty done, because it won't grow anymore, they end up cutting out a piece of their colon or a piece of their stomach to form the lining of the neovagina.
Doesn't matter.
This is
It doesn't matter.
That doesn't
they
matter?
want a vagina. No, it doesn't matter.
think
Whatever
that's fine?
surgical, yeah, of course. Whatever surgical procedure they need to have a vagina to make them happy is in the medical community's decision. It's not yours.
Oh, I
It
see.
100% is the individual
Decision to work
decision.
with their medical providers, not yours.
Do you mind if I ask you how young you believe that children should be able to surgically transition their gender or start the process? How young, in your opinion? Is
How
that okay?
young? So we have a 13-year-old trans friend, biologically a female who's transitioned to a male. He wasn't aware of his identity, so he started to develop breasts just before he had the puberty blockers. So now he
Bullshit.
doesn't want those breasts.
And he's fat.
So he's 14.
And he's 14 right now, and he
He's
doesn't
14
want.
and he wants the breast tissue removed from his top.
And you'd be okay with that?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they know what's best for them.
Yeah, my 13-year-old's pretty clear. This 13-year-old is pretty clear.
Sure.
I know they don't go to school camps because they're embarrassed about their breast tissue because they are boys. So, but as far as like bottom surgery and stuff, like I actually think that they should be adults. My opinion.
What if the parents object to it?
Parents object to children being gay, and they're still gay.
Oh, so you think this is the same thing as being gay?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think altering a child's biology, sterilizing them, cutting off their breast
It's
tissue
not
is the same thing as being
sterilizing
gay?
them.
It is.
They're choosing
Of
to
course
not
they're being
have that body.
sterilized. Do you know who Marcy Bowers is?
No.
Okay, so Marcy Bowers is the president of the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. Marcy Bowers is a trans woman.
Okay.
Okay? Marcy Bowers did the surgery on Jazz Jennings at the age of 17, where they had to cut out some of Jazz's stomach to form his
Perfect.
neovagina.
Whatever Jazz needs to do to have a great vagina,
Okay.
I support that.
Great. Wonderful.
I do. I
Let
support
him finish.
A Zoom call with Marcy Bowers and Johanna Olsen Kennedy from the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles and a bunch of other specialists in the field of transgender health. Marcy Bowers, the president, admitted that literally none of the boys who went on puberty blockers at 10 or stage 2, which is the beginning stage of puberty when they start puberty blockers.
Biological boys
No
Yes.
shit.
or trans boys?
Yeah, boys.
You can't just say boys.
I
Are you
can.
Yeah, you
saying?
can.
When I talk like science, you know,
Okay,
so
then say
boys.
biological boys, because when you say trans boys,
It's kind of redundant, isn't it?
no, it's not.
They don't
It's,
exist.
that's what this whole argument
All right,
is.
I'll play
It's your,
along. So
in
biological
education.
boys, literally,
Your
hold on. So
ignorance
literally
is
none of
part
the
this
biological
conversation.
boys who started on puberty blockers at 10 or stage 2, as adults, none of them have ever had any sexual function. They've never been able to have an orgasm. So do you think, my question
That's
is,
not true.
I know
I've
they're getting
spoken
it for
with-
free.
No, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
President of WPATH.
I've spoken
sad.
with men who've had that surgery, and they have orgasms. So
men? I'm talking about kids.
I'm talking about trans
Hold
people
on.
who've had the surgery who have orgasm.
When did they have the surgery?
Yeah.
Probably as adults. About
Let's
them
back
having-
it up.
Okay, which surgery?
Children.
I'm talking about kids who started on puberty blockers at 10 or stage 2. As adults, none of them have had any sexual function. Do you think a 12-year-old can consent to giving away their permanent adult sexual function when they don't even understand what that means?
I think you're basing this on lies.
What?
I can
don't
show
think
you
that
the
this
video
is
right
true.
now.
That's all right. I don't need to see your videos.
It's Marcy Bowers.
It's okay.
Okay.
See it.
Okay.
You don't want to. You don't need to see it.
If an adult
Afraid of
decides
the
to
truth.
transition,
No,
yes,
no, no,
they
you
have
know
some
what?
sexual function. I'm talking about when they give kids puberty blockers at 10 or stage 2.
What
When
I
they
don't
grow
think
up into
you
adulthood, they
understand-
aren't able to.
These children have very high suicide rates who are not allowed to transition.
I hear this all the
So what
time.
she's saying is I'd rather have a live
The rates
trans
don't
child
change when they
than
transition.
a dead whatever you're proposing. It's a life and death matter.
Yes, that is the coercive
you have a trans
manipulation that
child?
is always used.
Do you have a trans child?
And it is true that suicidality is higher amongst this cohort. It's higher among kids with autism. It's even higher with kids with autism. It's higher among kids with anorexia. It's higher among kids
What's your
with
point?
personality disorders.
What's your point?
But with these other conditions, we don't affirm a girl with anorexia and say, yes, sweetheart,
I remember
you're
when Jazz
overweight.
was
Let's give you
Anorexia is
liposuction."
different. Anorexia is different. Anorexia
That's
This is
fine.
the
a
only
disease.
condition in the world
This
where
is
we
not
accept
a
the
disease.
self-diagnosis of a
No,
child.
no, no. This is not a disease. I'd rather have a child, a trans child, any trans child who's alive, than whatever you're proposing. It's dead, and
So
that's what the ultimate
how many of these
argument.
kids are killing themselves, I wonder?
Which trans children who are not allowed to transition have a very high suicide
You're telling me
rate.
there's an epidemic of suicides going on?
Trans people
Based on what?
we existed and thrived.
I mean,
Based on facts.
the
Based
rates
on
for
facts.
us
I
is
can
20
tell you
kids
the facts.
a
What facts are you
day.
talking about?
I'm talking about scientific facts.
How many trans
What's your
people kill
basis for saying
themselves a
that?
day?
When trans people existed
July.
far more.
Honestly, how many trans people killed themselves today towards every veteran who has 22 suicides a day? Hence Project 22. Yeah, we're going to go to the next video. Body cam footage, vehicle footage, and when you have a AR pistol and you get pulled over and the cop already knows who you are, don't tell him you don't have one.
2143 code 1 have further 1038. McRae and Willow, Robert John David 2434 Nissan Maxima blue in color. It's not the same one, but yo, you good? Officer Agostinelli, Greensboro Police Department. Reason I stopped you, it looks like that front headlight's out. It is out.
Yeah, it's because like when I hit a bump, it turns off and
Okay.
on.
Y'all got any weapons inside the vehicle?
I don't.
Okay. Y'all got weapons inside the vehicle? Okay. You sure?
Yes, sir. We cool, man.
Okay. Y'all okay if I pop y'all out and do a safety frisk of persons real?
According to Duck AI, the specific number of transgender individuals who commit suicide each day is difficult to determine. Oh shit, there was no. I sound like Christopher Walken right now. Accurately due to various factors, including underreporting, differences in data collecting methods, and the stigma surrounding mental health and gender identity. However, studies and surveys indicate that transgender individuals experience slightly higher rates of suicide ideation and attempts compared to the general population. For instance, in 2021, a study by the Trevor Project found that 42% of LGBT youth reported seriously considered suicide in the past year. Considered, with transgender and non-binary youth being particularly affected. While exact daily statistics are not readily available, the overall data highlights a critical mental health crisis within the transgender community. So there's no specific number. Let's see how many committed suicide. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm doing this. See, this is crazy. So I said, how many transgender committed suicide in 2024? Sounds like a legit question, right? Sounds like a legit question, okay? In 2024 specific, statistics on the number of transgender individuals who commit suicide are not readily available. However, research individuals can indicate that transgender people face significantly higher rates of suicidal ideation. Same shit over. A study published in the Normal Human Behavior in late 2024 highlighted that states with anti-transgender laws saw an increase in suicide attempts among transgender and non-binary youths, with some reports indicating increases up to 72% in certain areas. This suggests a troubling trend, but is not to provide exact number of complete suicides. Oh. So they don't even have a specific number for 2024, right? Oops, come on. Why is it? Hold on. There we go. Now remember, they don't have statistics on the trans community. They don't. That's fucking insane. In 2022 alone, 6,500. 6,500 2022 alone. If AI can find stats on veterans, why couldn't AI find stats on transgenders? Ask yourself that. So if they tell you trans people are killing themselves at a higher rate, how do they know? They can't track the number.
Quick, make sure there's no weapons inside.
When you gotta do all that, you gotta have consent, bro. I know my rights. You gotta have consent to do all that.
So I can do a safety frisk based on a couple things. I've had a prior interaction with you, right?
Yeah.
Where I stopped the car.
I just got out today.
I know. I'm not saying that was
Keep stopping him though, bro. Like you talking.
because he's got some. No, I'm not. So I'm gonna ask y'all each individually to step out of the vehicle, okay? Don't reach for anything. Don't do anything like that, okay?
We're gonna step up.
I'm doing a safety frisk at this point. Again, based on passing. I'm gonna tell y'all all. Hey, listen. You can talk to my supervisor who's pulling up right now. Hey, you're good. Just listen to me. Bro, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me now. Bro, I'm going to pull all of y'all out if you keep yelling at me. I'm not. I stopped him for the taillight and I'm doing a safety frisk. Bro, you're yelling at me. I'm not going to keep yelling. Y'all can pop out of the car.
Y'all look at me real quick. Look at me real quick.
Y'all doing it illegal. Stop, bro.
Look at me real quick. Let me talk.
Do not reach for anything.
Let me talk. For no fucking reason. Let me talk. And bro, come over here like that. I'm gonna come over here and get you out right now. Come on.
You're the driver that just got out of the car.
Go ahead. Get out of the car.
Yo, you reach for anything. Bro, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
You're talking to him. No, I'm talking to him. You're talking to him. Watch him. Hey, if you reach for anything, I'll fucking do it. Stop, bro.
I believe it. And I think that has to do with Big Pharma. Because once you get labeled as bipolar, as a child especially, they put you on medication. Big Pharma is not into helping people. They're about patients for life. Oh no, I wasn't really talking about thoughts. My question was how many were committed suicide? Like actual people that went through, not like attempted. How many died? Like I said, there's no number, which I find extremely, extremely odd. I'm going to look more into that one. Why are those two guys screaming like bitches when the driver's like, I'm gonna cooperate? looking at the driver. He's like, you know.
I just got out. Hey, I want that black officer. Hey, I want to talk to the black officer. I'm not talking to you. Are you good?
You got anything on
I'm
you?
talking to the black officer.
Right. But when they try to tell you they've actually died, that's completely different. I know what you're talking about, and I know what you're saying. But these are people that actually went through with it.
I'm talking to the black officer. I'm not talking to you. I'm sorry. I get off the line.
I remember when I
You
was
understand what I'm saying? You understand why I'm doing this? You understand why they're tweaking like
2000, I was in Iraq,
You're good, bro.
and one of the National Guard units just showed up, and one of their soldiers went to a fucking porta potty and blew his fucking brains out. And then we had to, they obviously are going to get the medics that are closest, and it was us. And it's not pretty. I mean,
Their reaction is why we're getting that. You're good right now. I appreciate you.
I'm talking to the black officer. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the black officer. I'm not going to make you lose your job.
2241, can you clear me code 4, Danielle 2143,
I'm not going to make y'all lose your job.
206 response 1040.
Y'all tough in teams, ain't y'all? I'm 76, I'm right around the corner.
she's like, I'm only going to talk to the black cop.
I'll beat the shit out of both of y'all. It's over.
You're all good.
Y'all about to lose your job.
I want to talk to the black officer. I'm talking to him.
2241, we're also
Look at the difference in demeanor.
Can you get on me?
Y'all going down, bro.
I don't want you touching me.
Y'all going down.
I'll never
Have
touch you.
fun with no job.
I don't want you touching me. I don't want to touch you.
It's not the same one, but. Yo. You good? Officer Gostinelli Green.
I think this is the second officer, the supervisor.
Bro, listen to me.
Oh no, it's not
Listen
supervisor.
to me now. I'm gonna pull all of y'all out if you keep yelling at me. I'm not. I stopped him for the taillight and I'm doing a safety frisk. Bro, you're yelling at me. I'm not gonna keep yelling. Y'all can pop out of the car. Pop out of the car, bro. Look at me real quick. Y'all do not reach for anything.
See how the driver's like, okay.
Hands up, top. You understand what I'm talking about? Hands up, top, real quick.
Now you know who the fucking the criminals are. I'm not saying this guy probably wasn't a criminal, but look at him. He's cooperating 100%.
No, get him.
And there's an AR pistol under the passenger seat. That's why this happened. So do they. Whoa. Dude, I'd be so pumped if they did that to me, especially with my left arm. There's no way I can get that free voluntarily.
I'm talking to the black officer. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the black officer.
Weapons frisk, all of them.
I'm talking to the black officer. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all get off your lane.
Y'all going down for sure. Y'all going down.
Y'all going
Watch
down.
out. Don't try to delete the evidence. Watch out, bro.
Hey,
y'all going
yeah,
down.
y'all going down.
Give me your
Y'all
phone.
going
Down. Y'all going down, bro. Y'all going down for sure. Y'all going
sure.
down. What's your badge number?
12.
What's your name? What's your name? You going down, boy. I hope you know that. I'm not to make you
Well, you
lose
can't
your
call him
job.
boy. That's racist.
I'm not to make you lose your job, homeboy. Y'all don't know who the fuck I am. I'm not to make y'all lose your
Only
job.
7%?
I'm not to make y'all lose your
Jesus
job.
Christ.
Yeah. Y'all tough in
I mean,
teams,
any
ain't
number's
y'all?
high,
Y'all
but
tough in teams. Take this cuff off. I'll beat the shit out of both of y'all. Homeboy. Homeboy. I'll beat the shit out
Homeboy.
of both of y'all. Fuck you. So it's over with for y'all. Y'all about to lose y'all job. And thank you to me, too. Thank you to me for it. Y'all doing illegal stuff. You're pulling us out the car. I'm not doing it. It's in the car. Y'all going down, bro. Know that. Y'all going down. Have fun with no job, bro.
they didn't mention what happened afterwards, but yes, there's an AR pistol in the car.
I'm a racist.
And they were looking for a car after a drive-by shooting. That wasn't the car, but because he had a headlight out, which is a good reason to pull people over, which is why as soon as one goes out and I find out, I'm replacing it right then and there. Really? Huh. You ever been a racist? You know you can be a racist in recovery? I didn't really watch all but 12 seconds of this because I was trying to do something else. So I picked this one, it's last. And well, we're both going to watch it. And she's a recovering racist, which is weird.
In recovery. If you haven't seen me before, hi, my name's Janelyn. I have been talking about how I was born and raised in the deep south, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, raised to be a racist, and how I've been dismantling that for the last 15 years. If you like this content, give me a follow. If you have any comments or questions, please put it in the comments. I will respond to it. If you have any particular topics that you want me to talk about, leave those in the comments. Let's talk about white privilege.
Let's talk
I think
about
a lot of white people don't want
talk about you
to accept
and me.
this concept. I get it. I get why. Like, I'm thinking, I don't have white privilege. I haven't had anything handed to me. I've worked for everything I have. I have worked my ass off, and life has not been easy. I've been through a lot of shit. I get that. But what white privilege is not, it's not having your life handed to you on a silver platter. It doesn't mean you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. It doesn't mean that you haven't worked really hard. It doesn't mean that you haven't experienced loss or failure. It doesn't mean that you haven't had significant obstacles to overcome. It simply means that the color of your skin did not add to those struggles. And I think this goes hand in hand with recognizing and admitting that we have systemic racism.
I don't believe in systemic racism, by the way.
Let me tell you something.
It's people that are screaming racist.
Nothing is more aggravating.
90% of the time,
dear white
people, racist themselves.
Dear white people, nothing is more aggravating.
Especially the Democratic Party.
And keeps up this whole trope that we are victims in 2025 and beyond as of the recording of this video, than to see you guys up here always talking about stuff that is not relevant to anything that is going on right here, right now. She's talking about, well, the color of your skin didn't add to your struggles. What does that have to do with anything or the price of tea in China? All y'all doing, if y'all don't already know, is you're continuously keeping this whole narrative up that has black people thinking that they are struggling more than anybody else, which basically sets them at a disadvantage because they go into everything as a victim Olympian and thinking that the whole world is against them.
I mean, in case you're wondering, like I was, the price of tea in China varies widely depending on the type. For example, black tea can range from approximately 26.89 to 100.83 yuan per kilogram, which premium teas cost significantly more, sometimes reaching up to 20,000 yuan for specialty varieties. Yo, I wonder what that's to the dollar. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. So we'll do the 20,000. Oh shit. For 20,000, that's almost 3,000 fucking dollars. Tea is expensive in China. Holy fuck.
On what it is that they need to do in order to be successful. You're basically giving people an excuse as to why they can be substandard, or why they feel like they didn't get a job, or why they feel like they didn't get the opportunity that they wanted. And so instead of people excelling and becoming successful and being more and greater and working harder and being awesome and doing all of the things that they need to do in order to be successful, instead of that being the narrative, instead of it being, yo, I'm going to focus on being great and that there's nothing in anybody that is slowing me down from being successful, what we focus on is, oh my God, I didn't get the job because there was another white person that was over there. And the white person over there is the person that got the job just because they got white skin. It ain't about qualifications. And you don't realize how horrible diversity, equity, and inclusion was for people, because it basically gave people this chip on their shoulder like they deserve to have more just because they feel like they were disenfranchised by people like y'all that come up here and keep on talking about it every single time. I'm a white person and I was a racist in recovery. So what?
Right?
Then just be a good person. You know what I'm saying? And just be good and just be awesome. Like, what does that mean? I was a racist in
people. The reason I honestly believe I got where I am, both physically and mentally. Well, mentally, I know why I got there. However, my goal every morning was to be better than I was yesterday. Whether it was physically, emotionally, like, especially in the gym. Holy fuck, I had to be way better than I was the day before. And the day before, I literally almost killed myself. And the day before that, I did 1,000 burpees. Dude, my workouts were fucking intense. All because I wanted to fucking get on the podium of some of these races. I loved getting on the podium, especially when it's like a 10-mile run or a half marathon or even a marathon. If I get put on the podium, I know I did something, and that's what I got to do the next time. Like when I ran my first 5K, I think I ran it in just under 30 minutes. And I said, all right, the next time I'm going to get better. And then the next time I'm going to get better. And these are road races. I got it down where I could run my 5K in 18 minutes. 18 minutes. All because I wanted to be better than I was yesterday. And if you look at the picture I posted on my social media this morning, those people in the picture, the reason they got into those was because of me. Because I challenged them. You're supposed to challenge people. Nothing's fucking easy. And you goddamn know it.
recovery. So you didn't like black people based off of the color of their skin, or you didn't like other people based off of the color of their skin. Cool. God bless you. I hope that everything works out for you now that you have dismantled the thing in your mind. I don't know what you mean by dismantling it over the last 15 years. What does that mean? So now y'all walking around and y'all having conversations with people and y'all trying to convince them that, hey, your privilege is placing other people at an advantage and something like that. Like, is that the narrative that y'all selling to people? I don't understand it, but I'm truly
They
tired
won't,
of
DJ
hearing white
They
apologists.
won't. You know why? Because they get tons of money in free labor. They do. I have an interview with a guy that was in the prison system, and he specifically said they were making products and they were slapping big name labels on them.
Get on the black hand side just because you think that you used to be a certain way. Be better, do different. Now that you know different, be different and be successful. And that's the end of it. But to stop trying to help people to realize how racist they were and all of this stuff, we don't want to hear that junk no more. That junk is old. It is tired. It is absolutely tired. And every time I see one of y'all do this, I'm going to bring y'all to the front of the congregation, bro.
Or racist laws, racist practices in this country. Because if you can understand that there is racist laws or racist culture, then you can understand why as a white
you
get run into some really fucking big, huge racist people in the military, no matter what color you were. And now, how do I know? Because they all thought, oh, this dude's a Filipino, he's going to just get walked all over. Bro, no. You want to be racist towards me? One, you're not going to like the consequences. And two, I hate everybody, so I'm going to call you every name in the book. I don't know why I told this story, but yeah, I hate everybody equally. So if I call them different names, It's okay. And a lot of times in the military, if you use racist terms, it was a term of endearment. That's how you know the difference. People that were really racist and the people, like we would call each other faggot, even though we're not gay. Faggots. Or Jews, kikes, niggas. What else would they say? They would call me a beaner. Not Mexican. I never understood that one. That beaner thing started when I was in the 11th fucking grade. Weird. I've been called a gook, a chink, none of which I am, and I never got offended. I would always hit them back. Right? Like the first time I got to this new platoon, they tried me. They tried me. And I went up to them like, listen, you round-eyed bastard. And after that, a beautiful friendship between me and that platoon and the entire company. Why am I going off on tangents again? I forgot what the original topic was.
Person, you would have white privilege. You are not subjected to those racist laws. I'm just hoping that somebody will see this and just understand a little bit better that the concept of white privilege, or you admitting that you have white privilege, does not negate any hard work that you've put into your life, and it doesn't negate.
No, a good majority of my viewers are white. Do you have white privilege? And how?
Your struggles or what you had to do to get where you are. It just means that people of color have another barrier in a lot of ways. I invite comments on the topic. I would love to have a dialogue.
You know what? I am, and I always like to give credit to the content creators, regardless.
Bro. North Hardin High School in Radcliffe, Kentucky. I was in a predominantly black school. And racism was fucking crazy, but they also had fights, and they literally sent teachers to the hospital for trying to break up these fights. I saw a dude get fucking DDT'd in front of his fucking locker. Fucking blood was everywhere. He ended up transferring schools after he recovered. And then my junior and senior year, I was in Jacksonville, Alabama, city school, predominantly white, and they were fucking racist too. I've been around racism. Do I let it affect me? No. Do I fight back? Absolutely.
Of whether or not I agree or not, but this whole preach to.
I believe this 100% because I've run into people that would say racist shit in private, but they're little angels in public. I'm the same person in private than I am in public. I'm the same person on the internet than I am in real life. What I say and what I do are legit me. You may think I'm an insensitive, misogynist, racist, anti-Semitic, anti-14th Amendment. I don't even know where I'm going. I don't think it's the
White
14th
people
Amendment. Hold
thing.
on.
It's old and it's tired and it's not something that I rock with, and it is exhausting and it's corny. Yo, I don't need nobody to
Not
tell
the 14th
nobody in my
Amendment.
family, and stay away from my daughter, stay away from my people, stay away from my situations. Don't ever tell my daughter that she can't be successful or she has a disadvantage or preaching to white people. Listen, if y'all want to continue to downplay y'all's success, if somebody just so happened to work hard and get to where it is that they are, or if your parents were successful and they gave you a leg up as a result because the children is the recipient of the
There it is.
the thing.
We need to abolish the 19th Amendment. Hands in the air if you want to abolish the 19th Amendment. I think we do.
Things that the parents do, then cool. But the thing that I teach my daughter is we not focus on that. We not focus on color. You
Well, I don't
work.
believe in racism, but I do believe in bigotry. Everyone's a bigot. Period. They don't use that word anymore because that accurately describes what it is. But now everything is racist. Anything you say can be racist, but it's not.
And so you get the results. You dedicate yourself, you get the results. You consistent, you get the results. You love God, you make it into heaven. And so we don't separate ourselves based off of all of this other.
Not gonna lie. My parents were racist towards a very specific group of people, you know, the niggers. Uh, I can't say that I was specifically influenced by them on racism because, like I said, I've never trusted anybody, period. So I equally hate everybody. I do. If you come up and meet me the first time, I don't know you, I automatically don't trust you or like you. It's just the way it is. You gotta earn it. Oh, I don't know why I was supposed to highlight this one, my bad. Uh, oh, thank you. Thank you. I was really contemplating going live this morning because the numbers from yesterday kind of pissed me off. We're not racist, Juniper. It's bigotry.
Stuff. We focus 100% of our energy on the things that actually add value into people's lives. And we don't differentiate when we gonna help.
My dad was from East Liverpool, Ohio. My grandfather was let's just say he was pretty high up in the KKK in the area. My grandfather. I mean, my dad did marry an Asian, so that's probably why they never talked to each other, that side of the family. But yeah, I do have some really fucked up backgrounds, but at the same time, who doesn't? Find me a generational family, a bloodline that hasn't had fucked up people in their bloodline. Show me one. Just give me one family that doesn't have it. You can't.
Somebody, or when we gonna do something nice, or when we gonna be nice to people. We don't separate it and say, hey, I'm gonna be nicer to this person just because they black, or I'm gonna advocate for this person, or I'm gonna rock with this person because they white. That's the corniest thing in the world to me. People are people, and everybody should be evaluated based off of what value that they add, or whether or not, based off of their own merits. It's plenty of racist black people, and I'm sure it's plenty of racist white people. Has no bearing on my life whatsoever. I am guided by God, and I am guided by being a valuable person to the people that's in my circle. And hopefully they see the value that I add, and then they reciprocate. And we just continue to big each other up and bring people up. The one thing that I am tired of is these white apologies.
And that might actually be crazy to think about. Where'd it go? I actually grew up in the military. I was born on a military installation, and I always was around military. And you know what? The military is literally the biggest melting pot in the world. 100%, even more than the United States. So I was always around every race and culture. Maybe that's why I'm a little different than most. I know people in basic training that never saw a black person until they went to basic. And remember, you got to be at least 17 to go to basic training. I had a Mexican that didn't know the word nigger was racist, and he used it a lot. A Mexican from Waxahachie, Texas. I think it's Waxahachie. Waxahachie. It's a weird name in Texas. I believe it's close to Burleson. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know. But yeah, I don't know. I hate this, talking about like me being different. But when I sit and think and go through these stories, these articles, these news segments, I realize I've done a lot to where I can tell you an experience that I've had with certain situations, which I hate sometimes because it makes me feel like I'm just talking about me. But right now I am talking about me. Why wouldn't I? I don't know. Sometimes when these stories like they come, when these memories come in my head, I have to say them, even if they're bad. Um, I still say them because it's a vent. It's a vent. I felt like shit at the beginning of the stream, and I let those stories come out, and now I'm 100% better, completely. Holy shit! I would like to personally thank everybody, all 29 of you that showed up this morning. Whether it was a click in or you stayed for at least an average of 26 minutes, I appreciate every single one of you. I just had a fucking therapy session that I didn't know was going to happen. That's crazy. Shit. I'm going to fucking dump whatever the fuck I want. If they want it, well, actually, I don't think they're clipping this. They could. I don't remember if I have my videos on clippable, but they're actually going to screen record it. But nobody does that. I think they've only done it once or twice, and that's when I came out and talked about Wolf and PHI. I think those are the two times that I was. Oh no, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't care because all this stuff that y'all had today, Juniper said, relatable. I could see that. I could see that, and that's why. I don't know. Maybe that's why I've always been relatable to people because when I talk to people and I advise people, which is free, I found out that I'm a really good listener and a really good advisor. It's crazy. But all I want to do now is live on my island and just talk. Occasionally, crazy shit will come out of my mouth. I don't fucking care. If you haven't seen Veteran or Dark Humor, I'm one of those guys. And you know, they say dark humor is a sign of intelligence. You should hear a lot more of the jokes that I have. Hear me out. What does a black man and a pizza? Oh, fuck, I'm fucking this joke up. What's the difference between a black man and a pizza? The pizza will feed the family of four. Huh? Huh? You don't get it? God damn it. So anyway, I was outside last February, right? Right after we had an ice storm. I was walking out and I fucking slipped on the ice. I hit the ground, right? And I got up and I found out my keys, my wallet, and my cell phone were missing. I was like, what the fuck? Turns out, it was black ice. Yeah. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not telling you how to think because, as you can see, I literally look like a fucking caveman. And that crazy, you look on TV and you see the crazy fucking Vietnam veterans. They look just like me. They look just like me. But I'm just telling you to think. And yeah, that wasn't even dark humor. That was just regular humor. I used to teach and I was an equal opportunity advisor. Literally trained and certified as an equal opportunity survivor advisor. And I would literally start off every fucking briefing with a racist joke. Breaks the ice. Some people don't get it. I did piss off a white E7 one time. He complained. Sergeant Major told him to fuck off. Love my. Anyway. No. No way. I can't do that. I can't do that, Angela. But I did say, dude, check this out. When I was a recruiter and I had people that had to go like East Point and other parts of Atlanta for the reserve units, bro, I really never had an issue walking around in areas like that. I mean, sometimes I did look like a Fed because I'd wear my boots, 511 pants, and my army polo, or sometimes just a regular shirt. I don't know. I've always been comfortable in every environment. At the same time, no, I'm not. I do believe I am very comfortable in combat zone. Maybe that's why I'm comfortable in areas that have high risk of crime. It doesn't matter though. I'm just telling y'all to think. That's it. I totally thought this was going to be a short show because I picked a lot of short videos. I really did. The longest video was 17 minutes. I'm sorry, 28 minutes. The rest were under 5. And I talked for 2 hours, 34 minutes. Wild. Anyway, it is Friday. If you watch wrestling, you have WWE SmackDown, which I will watch because Brock Lesnar's going to be there. AJ Lee's probably going to be there, and it's in Chicago. Whoa. Too bad Roman Reigns is out in Australia filming Street Fighter, which is where Cody's been, actually, and having a kid. Also, there is a NFL game. NFL game. Let me tell you exactly who's playing. That's not. Once I find my ESPN app. Chiefs and the Chargers. Oh my God. Fuck the Chiefs. Go Chargers. I don't like the Chargers, though. My game's not till Sunday. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bring it. Yup. Am I still here? Has it been 6 minutes yet?